Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm the Kraken, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, pump sports radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett produced, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we be, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, April 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It's funny, family woke up this morning, saw it's raining and gloomy outside, and all I could think was, God, I just couldn't care less because the action that we have is so hot. Who cares what's going on outside of our action? As long as our family's healthy and everything is good, let's get to work. I'm pumped up, man. I do have knots riddled through my back. I'm coming off, a 50-50 day, and even throughout these last few days that we've been succeeding, I'm just going over the mistakes and they pop up every day, and we got to figure out how to stop them from happening. And so yesterday, I tell Jose that I'm like, don't you think that we'll get a better line on the Cardinals if we wait? And then in the last 2 hours, and I'm watching this line move all day, last 2 hours, there's a 25-cent move to the Padres, 30-cent move. Fine. The move that we were expecting because of the ticket count all day happens in the last hour. And so I don't move on it. And I'm texting Jose back and forth, so I guess, that's my waffle of the day. Jose did cash his waffle of the day with that 2-out bomb by Schneider, 2 out in the ninth for the Jays. Waffle play today for Jose, now 1-0. Going over it all, the Predators-Bruins game was a tough watch. The Bruins are full of heart and character. They're a tough fade. When they got that power play with 6 minutes left, the score's tied 0-0. They've got to have a momentum-building power play. They did not. And then, of course, a beautiful outlet pass finds Marchand, who makes this spectacular backhand pass to Charlie Coyle, who scores his career high, I think 59th point on this beautiful goal. And look, the Bruins are full of heart and character, and they're going to score shorthanded goals like that. I have to take the L. I hate that I gave Chang that as my best bet. And the only reason why I did was because I was uncomfortable going up against the grandma's wearing your sister's panties play again from Mikey Money, where I was on the Sabres. 2-1 in NBA, but I was hesitant to move on the Sixers at plus 2.5. I was sitting there staring at it. Then it moves to 1.5 with Embiid back. That cashes. Raptors first quarter plus 4 made me want to smash something. When Barrett and IQ are in there, we can play with them. Why does Darko take them both out with 3 minutes left in the first quarter? He wants me to lose my first quarter, but we cashed the Heat -3 pretty comfortably, although there was a bit of a late comeback from the Knicks. We cashed the Timberwolves first half very comfortably, but that was just what the score said. There was that huge run by the Wolves with about 3 minutes left in the first half. Then in MLB, because I don't go on the Cardinals, I lose my Giants first 5, and that's okay. That was a mistake. The White Sox, I was right, but I pushed. Maybe I should have turned that into a first 5 plus a half. I could have got a decent line on that, but I was focusing on the 3 innings, and then the other game rained out. So I'm sitting here ready to go to war with my action, something I didn't do yesterday. Let's not hesitate. Let's not mess around. Let's go to war with our action. Let's take it to the bank, man. Stop being, I was very tentative yesterday. I was very pensive yesterday, and I don't want it. I don't like it, and it's filling me with not rage, but this, energy where I just want to lash out, and I want to lash out on the books. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Gary Tenebra in the house. I love seeing you cash with the Sabres with me. LJ from H-Town. Corey Seager didn't have a hit yesterday. You know what to do. Over 1.5 bases and sprinkle the homer from LJ from H-Town. We will talk about that. LJ, man, I didn't get enough time with you in San Antonio, my man. But you sure made the trip special, just being around, and the concert you put on with Jay Peasy was just, that was the best moment of of the weekend for me, that Saturday night, all of us in the South Town. Let's get LJ's. You know what? I'm not going to try and find the action. As you can imagine, this is a very stressful time. I'm barely sleeping, and I don't know exactly what to say other than the need for us to succeed is couldn't be more paramount right now. BT in the house and says as long as it comes after the first 5, he's on the under 4.5 first 5 in the Rangers game. Let me get that right under LJ's action here. Justin McKelvey, Stacks play of the day is the Pelicans -4. So I'm going to hammer this 5-game NHL card. Then Jose will join us for MLB. Jose off another winning day yesterday. A very strong start to the season, but we must keep it going. It's just getting started, and we know the type of marathon this is. A KG 1028 ready to get to work. There's Old E. Says he's all over Los Pelicanos. J Dub says, how much do the Rockies suck already? Dab Fence, I didn't bet the Sabres because I'm a Cats fan, but I knew it was a good call. You know what? Look, it's going to be a really fun last little stretch here in NHL. And I've moved on 3 of the 5 games, and there's nothing wrong with kind of even now being a fan of a team to hold off. And remember, there's nobody better than you to fade your team. Nobody better than you to fade your team. And that is from the great Gabe Morency. Told that to us at IFBC in Costa Rica in 2017, I want to say 2017. Viper MB in the house. Baltimore -1. Chicago -1. Philadelphia -1. Let's get that copied and pasted here. Series business ready to go. Gerald Jones ready to go. We got Rocco Rogers. Mookie over 1.5. What a God! Watching those Dodgers, it's electric there. And how lucky are everybody in LA? I mean, you're just a lucky group of people to live in that great city. God, Mookie hits that homer and it gets dark in there, and he's running around the bases. It's nighttime. It's cold in LA. It's just, I mean, it's just magical. And what a Mookie pulling that out. That was not very far off the ground. He's just a phenomenal baseball player. And the fact that he's being able to move on to the infield, we're very fortunate we get to watch an athlete like Mookie Betts off the field and on the field. He's leading by example. Is what he's doing. What a phenomenal baseball player. Wine Time Sports in the house. There's Joey Harb. Oh, Joey Harb. Perfect time. Joey Harb back to back. Defending champion of our horse race. Picked up $100 American last week. 100 bones American. Back to back. Guys, Drizzy in here. We're going back to back. Look at Joey Harb. Can we go back to back to back? Pub Sports Radio horse race today after NBA with our guy Dutch Boy Fresh. Dan Kelly, Stephon Diggs to the Texans for draft picks. I can hear him still whining. He's right across the Golden Horseshoe in Buffalo. I'm just happy to hear him stop whining. Take your whining somewhere else. Now he's a good receiver. He's a really good receiver. But God, what a fucking whiner. Whining and whining and whining and whining. Get out of Buffalo, man. Buffalo's a tough town. They don't need Stephon Diggs bitching and whining. Get out of here. All right. Jay Peasy ready to go. Kelly McInnes, Ross Pitts. Every day I'm hustling. That's a perfect line for Ross. Kong's Clips getting ready to go. The Dapper Capper in the house. Subhuman Gaucho. Jay Smooth. Smooth Balls play of the day is the New York Mets money line here. We're going to be all business today. We're going to be all business. We've performed very well since coming out of Pubapalooza, and we must keep it going. Oldies has faded the Flames cash. You know, I think you got to bet futures on the point total over for the Ducks next year, because with Zegras and McTavish having a down year, looking poor, I imagine we'll get a nice number. Johnny Guns in the house. Jesse Gomez says, what's a good site for trends in MLB? We have a lot of different cappers who focus on trends. They can come in and jump in and let you know, Jesse. Ray Charles, Johnny Guns. TJ says, pushes, the gift pushes, no harm, no foul. Matty Ice, shout out to Matty Ice, Ron Crawford, all you guys on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And look, I like that Jose went up against you guys. Look, this is not we're not a bunch of yes men. And there's nothing wrong with saying, look, I'm on the other side of this. And that's part of us capping together. This show is about information. We need all of the information, and then we have the autonomy to make to put in our action. I remember when I started, people took offense if I was on the other side of them. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to make my money. You're trying to make your money. Let's just move forward. Stimmy OG in the house. Big night with the over Bucks, Wizards, and the other 2:33 on the Warriors game. Great call. 101 Benny in the house. There's Troy Torrance ready to get to work. Taint play of the day is in. It's the Boston Red Sox first 5 -0.5 and -110. We got Slick Nick Pavetta on the bump. Some really nice calls from Jose about which pitchers he wants to back and which pitchers he wants to fade this year. And then, the mistakes and the losses hurt more than the wins feel good. And of course, Jose's not worrying about, I went up against spreadsheet play day, or I went up against a Taint. He's worried, how did I go up against the pitcher that I said was a fade in Nestor Cortez? And these are the things that we need to be consciously aware of as much as possible. 101 Benny says, rained out yesterday, cash flow play day, Detroit, New York Mets under 7. I mean, there's more rain in the forecast today than there was yesterday. 101. I thought, because I was rushing to make sure that I had everything capped, everything ready to go. And I was like, should I bet that? And I was like, look how much rain there is. I'm probably going to get a worse line. Maybe I should just let it go. But there's a ton of rain in there. But I like it, 101 Benny. I was going to be on it. I bet it yesterday. All right. Great to see all of you guys here. Ken Wood ready to get to work. Great to see all of you guys. I'm a little behind on the shout out. Steve G ready to get to work. Great work with Pens and Bruins. How bad is that New Jersey Devils defense? I wish I could just just anonymously send messages to Tom Fitzgerald somehow. Just anonymously. Just let him know, what he's doing to the city, what he's doing to, Lindy Ruff, what his decision, how his decisions are affecting so many people, but yet he still rolls into the Prudential Center in his Mercedes. Nasty Nate in the house. Joe T ready to get to work. So the post my bets in the wild. Busy working right now. Respect. Al Cervic ready to go. Troy Torrance moving on. Orioles -1. Cubs O's a money line parlay. Diamondbacks money line. Pelicanos trifecta. Let's copy and paste all that. All right, we got to get to work. Doug, Magic +4. Mariners first half -0.5. Cardinals first half +0.5. Let's grab that here and copy and paste that. Make sure that's all ready to go. Nats Nate says, what people fade their teams? Come on, Nate. We know. You got to open it up. You got to open up. You got to get in that wheelhouse, man. Steve G says, Rockies fade going well. 5-1 up 4 units. Absolutely great work. All right, it's time to get to work. Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Shout out to Guillermo Zertucci, the Zertucci family. Eli Zertucci. Eli back. He's a Marine. He came back, took his pops out to Chavez Ravine. And geez, he's giant. He's a giant, man. He's a giant. He looks great, dude. Dan Kelly on Seattle -1 says, in the spirit of nobody better than you to fade your team. And then he says, don't tail my MLB, but tail is NBA. Because good God, I just cannot believe the Bucks and the Cavs rolling into this Central Division like this, man. I would never have guessed it'd be quite like this. Okay, Rocco Rogers, Matty Ice, Al Cervic, Joey Harb, TJ, now a member of Pub Sports Radio for 17 months. Cubs under, Philadelphia under, Boston -1, Boston first 5 -0.5, Texas money line, Miami money line, Minnesota, Milwaukee under. I can't stick around. We'll watch the replays. Good luck. Thank you, my man. That's just the exact example of who we are as a team. He just wants to make sure that we know his plan of action. And what a great guy he is, man. And you're going to see a lot more of the gift here on the show. You're going to see a lot more of TJ on the show. There's Tone Miggins ready to go. Ellie Cruz over 1.5 bases and a home run for Tone. It's so crucial to have all this information here before I move forward, to know what you guys are on, know what your plan is so we can discuss it. C. Davis Pick saying good morning from Costa Rica, God's country. I hope I can get back there. Chief Ken Wood on Fernando Tatis over 1.5 bases. Okay. Time to get to work. Coin ready to get to work. It is time to get to work. And Nats Nate says maybe Jose should have bet the Bruins Red Sox parlay. Catch with me and Mikey +223, or just trying to be cute, fading your teams. Look, great cash. Nasty Nate, great cash. Get that cash. I want you to cash. We're not competing against each other. You can slap the water out of Jose's hands every time that we're at the Southtown 101, and we'll all laugh and love it. Let's get to work. We start in NHL. 1-1 day for me yesterday. Disappointing, but I'm attacking the board. Look, the record is disappointing. It's we talk about the only lock on this show is that we will be honest and transparent with our records. And it's very, very, very frustrating. And yes, I'm going to be in the black. I just don't want to wait till the last day of the goddamn season. 7 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Lightning 41-26-7, 18-16-3 on the road at the Toronto Maple Leafs 43-22-9, 21-13-3 at home at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, with Andrei Vasilevsky 28-17-2, 2.86 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 2 shutouts. He's been playing a lot better. That rebound that he gave up, I think it was for the Fabry goal to make it 3-2 Detroit, was horrible. It was a horrible rebound. He played great all game, but that was a horrible rebound. I believe he's getting his shit together. This is not an old goaltender. We think he's an old goaltender because of being the best goaltender of our generation, but he's got to get together. And Ilya Samsonov, 21-6-7, 3.06 goals against average, 892 save percentage, 3 shutouts. So we have the very familiar Russian goaltenders going up against each other and elevating their game against each other. Now, let me refresh this for the NHL odds here. I moved on the Lightning last night, and I really believed that I was going to beat this line move by a lot. That's not the case. I got in at plus 114. It was right. It got down to plus 109. It's back. It got back to plus 114 at 5 in the morning. It's plus 111 right now. And I'll explain why I think the Lightning is the best spot on the board here. Also, this total is at 6.5, and I am beginning to think that this is an under. It didn't quite hit me until the last a couple minutes. So I have already bet this Lightning spot, and I'm now interested in the under. Maybe I should focus on the Leafs team total under. I think that might be the better way of handling things. But I'm sort of figuring that out right now. Bubbarito in the house up 12 units. I love it, Bubbarito. There's BJ, who's on the O's. And Steve G, Tampa plus 1.5 with Vasilevsky in net. Fanatical Jim saying Morgan Riley returns to the lineup for the Leafs. And we'll go over all that here in a second. But Tampa Bay power play 29.3%. It's the best power play in the NHL. It's better than the Oilers power play. I'm surprised to say that. That can change in the playoffs, of course, if McDavid gets hot and Hyman keeps playing the way he is and Draisaitl steps up. 82.9% penalty killing. This Tampa Bay team is rounding into form. We've been watching it in front of our eyes. Toronto power play 24.4%, penalty killing at 77.6%. Lightning had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 4-2 loss at home versus the Red Wings on Monday night. There's going to be a lot of times in your action where you're on the right side and you lose the game. The 6 minutes before the Red Wings scored that goal was probably the most dominant 6 minutes. Now, Nashville had like about a 4-minute run of this as well against Boston in the third period, but it was the most dominant 6 minutes of any team I've seen all year. They looked like Stanley Cup champions out there. And look, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not saying they're going to go win the Stanley Cup or anything like that. We already had Cappers bring us the opportunity to move on the Lightning in the futures market. And maybe with the Panthers scuffling, maybe the Lightning are the move. Maybe they are. And maybe I should make that decision when they're playing the Leafs tonight. But they just bad bounce. Vasilevsky let out a rebound that he shouldn't have. Detroit makes it 3-2. They score the empty netter, make it 4-2. I think that loss probably helps in this situation. I think the Lightning are a very, very dangerous hockey team. The Leafs, and they're healthy, and they're rolling. The Leafs coming off their third straight win 6-4 at home versus the Panthers on Monday. They're playing really good hockey despite being beat up. So, we talk about the return of Morgan Riley, but Joel Edmondson and Timothy Liljegren out. So 2 defensemen out there. Mitch Marner and Calle Jarnkrok out. And if you know Keefe, he loves Jarnkrok. They're going to have an issue with who they're going to have to sit out, come game 1 of the playoffs or come the most important games. Another interesting part in this is that they're 6 points back. They play each other, I believe, twice more in the so if the Lightning win here in regulation, which I think they will, they are going to put pressure on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's what they want to do. So here we go. The Tampa Bay Lightning money line is the best bet on the NHL board today. And I want to also get in on an under, and I will have to decide whether that be under 6.5, a first period under, or Leafs team total under. If we were just giving out picks, I would give out all three of those, but we're not. I'm betting those picks, and I promise you, always will bet my action, and I'm not going to triple up on the total. If I wanted to do, I don't even want to bet two of them, even at, under my unit size in NHL, because the Lightning money line is the best spot in this game. So I've got to figure out what to do around this under. I think this is going to have a playoff feel, so that under 1.5 first period is live. God, this didn't really occur to me to this extent how much this is going to feel like the playoffs, and how you have the Russian goaltenders going up against each other. And whenever we see these Russian goaltenders go up against each other, they raise the level of their game. I've got to figure this out. But I'm already on the Lightning money line, and I'll figure the rest out later. We move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, the New Jersey Devils at the New York Rangers. The Rangers 21-4, 26-10 at home, Madison Square Garden, New York, New York. Look, there was that show with Bobano. It was on the Friday, and I imagine, how could you not bet the Devils against the Sabres in that Friday spot? And I was going to with you, but I wanted to talk it all out. And once I went over their defense, I said, how can you possibly do this? I can't do this. I can't put my money out there. I can't bet on this defense. And that, coming to that realization, has saved me a lot of money. Now, I could have made money just fading them, which is what a great capper would do. But at least a good capper understood that you can't put money on the New Jersey Devils. What's going on with the Rangers? They were also missing 3 defensemen. They're not anymore. It's just Eric Gustafsson who's day-to-day. We know that Blake Wheeler will be out for the regular season. Who knows if they'll even want him. I bet you there'll be a spot in the playoffs where he might give the team a spark if he's healthy enough. And then you have Philip Hedl, who's, of course, out until next season. Steve G on the Rangers money line. Dan Bonner says hammer spot Rangers 60 minutes, -125. We all know who the Devils are at this point, but to add the numbers, Devils 3-10-1 on back-to-back this season, 1-6-1 on the back-to-back at home after loss, and back-to-back at home 0-6. So they are still missing Curtis McDermott, but they've been getting slightly healthier. On the second half, back-to-back after losing 6-3 at home to the Penguins last night, their defense was just atrocious. It was horrific. The Penguins scored 5 unanswered goals in the third period on them. Malkin got 2, Crosby got 2. And, if I didn't have a couple futures, one for them to make the playoffs and one for them to win the Stanley Cup, it's fine. Everything's fine. I feel very comfortable with where I'm at with my futures. Now, that could change, obviously, as we go through the playoffs. But I wanted to point and laugh at them. And I also wanted to sneak up into that suite where Tom Fitzgerald is and pop on a black ski mask and hold him down and tell him about the jobs that he's costing so many people with this team falling apart here. And then, of course, pull out a metal pole and destroy his right kneecap. Maybe his left kneecap. I think he's a righty, so probably pop that right kneecap and then bounce. Rangers also coming off a loss to the Penguins. They fell to the black and yellow 5-2 on Monday, snap a 5-game winning streak. Let's go over the line history here for this one. We have the total at 6.5. It's opened up -111 to the under. Now it's -110 to the under. From a money line standpoint here, the Rangers are at -195. They open up at -178. Maybe you guys are right, and maybe I should have already moved on the New York Rangers on the -1 line. Maybe that loss to the Penguins was stick a fork in them, and maybe the Rangers know that they get to basically completely shut down a rival. I mean, the Rangers had every excuse not to show up. They came back from that road trip it was a short road trip, but it was Colorado and Arizona. Then they fly back. They have that 1 day off. So they beat Arizona 8-5 on Saturday with Johnny Quick in net. You never want Johnny Quick in net if you're putting money on it. He's not that goalie we saw for the first 2 months of the year. Then they have the day off. Then they play Pittsburgh. They lose 5-2. Maybe this is just a simple Rangers take care of business spot on the -1 line, like Bankroll Spence is saying. Maybe I've missed the simplicity of this spot, and I will have to figure that out after the show. Again, I don't like doing this, but I imagine I don't like doing this in NHL. I don't feel like it's helpful, but I imagine the public would be all over the Rangers here after watching how bad the Devils looked last night. And let me see if I can get in just very quickly, just take a quick look, and then we'll move on to the next game here. So 75% of the tickets, that's not so bad. We don't have the cash flow yet. That's not so bad. Okay. Okay, I'll deal with that. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe you guys are all right. Maybe my subconscious and my initial feeling about this New Jersey Devils team, despite my newfound hatred towards Tom Fitzgerald, maybe it's clouding my judgment of how easy they should be faded right now. I hate being late to the party, and I feel like we have that term, late to the party, early to the funeral. They were ripe for the fade against Buffalo and Pittsburgh. I'll figure that out on my own time. I respect your guys' action. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we have the Edmonton Oilers 45-23-5, 20-15-2 on the road at the Dallas Stars, 47-19-9, 22-10-4 at home, American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. What a season the Stars have put together here. We have Stuart Skinner versus Jake Ottinger listed. Skinner, 906 save percentage, now 2.63 goals against average. He's been decent. Ottinger has not followed up that spectacular year from last year, 30-13-4, 2.87 goals against average, 900 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Edmonton's power play is getting stronger. We're just used to that 35% they put on last year. It's now at 27.5%. Just the Lightning with the better power play than them, 79.6% penalty killing. Dallas is just a very complete hockey team, 24% power play, 81.5% penalty killing. They're just an extremely complete hockey team. And they've had some time off now. So they've won 7 straight. We have a hockey team that's won 7 straight. They come off of sweeping their 4-game road trip with 3-0 win at Seattle on Saturday. It's Wednesday now. They come home on Sunday. They probably have an optional skate on Monday. They probably have a hard practice on Tuesday. And now the Oilers come to town. Also, Yanni Hakanpää, an important defenseman, day to day. And Evgeny Dodonov has been out for a while, but he could return tonight. He's dealing with a lower body injury. Not that long, but he could return tonight. So the Oilers have their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 3-2 overtime loss to St. Louis on Monday. This is a healthy group, and they will now be challenging themselves against the best team in the conference. With the extra time off, I'm going to challenge the Dallas Stars to be ready to go, and I'm on the Edmonton Oilers first period. Because I know that the Oilers are going to be ready to go coming off that overtime loss against St. Louis. They're a dangerous hockey team. If these teams were playing in the Western Conference Final, at this health, you'd have to think the Stars would be a worthy favorite, and the Oilers would be in trouble. Now, Ottinger has to play well, and there's so many ifs, ands, and buts, so we don't need to get into that. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Dallas is sitting at -118, right where they opened. There had been a move towards the Oilers. The Oilers opened up at +105. These are pinnacle lines. Went down to +100, and they were what were they? They were +105 when I took the first period at +101. From a total side of things here, this is going to be playoff type hockey. This total is juiced to the over. Opened up at 6.5, -105 to the over. It's now -108 to the over. Got up to -112, so there's been 4 cents of buyback. Smoking Tree in the house. I love it, man. I love it. You are rolling, and we're all watching. We got Scotty Rock. I love it. Gifted Cartel on Luke Hughes over a half point. Team over 3.5 shots. Batherson over a half point. Mackenzie Weegar over a half point. Tage Thompson over 3.5 shots. Cashed for him. Oh, that was all last night. Nice job, Gifted Cartel. Michael DeMaria. We got Mikey D in the house. Mikey D had a great time hanging out with you, my man, at Papa Palooza. Great time at the track, too. Game Wizard 2 says, how does this Dallas game not go over? Because it's playoff type hockey. And I don't think, Swiggy, I don't think the Oilers have been a mess lately. That was a 3-game winning streak that was snapped. I don't. I think that's a little much, Swiggy. I don't think they've been a mess. And Guillermo, to answer your question, it's just now. Look, I'm not betting the under because of the high octane team, but it's playoff time. It's playoff time. Unders are going to start cashing. You know, these games are crucial. This is a great test for the Oilers to see how they shape up against the top team in the conference. So I'm on Oilers first period at plus 101. And, I feel very comfortable going to war with that. Let's move on. 9:30 p.m. Eastern's next spot on the board. Seattle Kraken 31-30-13, 15-13-7 on the road at the LA Kings, 38-25-11, 17-11-7 at home. We're at Crypto in Los Angeles, California. Philip Grubauer is listed. Not sure if he'll be started, but he's been playing better, much better. 12-13-2, 2.89 goals against average, 8.98 save percentage, 1 shutout. Cam Talbot listed for the LA Kings, 23-18-6, 2.48 goals against average, 9.15 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Seattle power plays at 21.2%, penalty killing at 79.3%. Kings power play at 22.4%, and penalty killing has been strong all year at 84.6%. Nate Dogg, Edmonton money line, leaning over a lean draw, McDavid to score and an assist. Let's get into the line history here for this one. I've moved on this one, and it wasn't easy to move on it. It took some time. Now, this under is being hammered, and rightly so. It opened up under 5.5 minus 103. It's now under 5. It got up to, it's minus 116, but it got up to minus 123. There was a 20-cent move on the under 5.5. And that might be, that might be the right bet. I don't think I would first period under this one, just in case. I mean, if the Kings got out to a 2-0 first period lead, this game could still very easily go under, and you would have lost the first period. From a money line standpoint, the Kings right now are minus 185. They got up to minus 188 at 5:30 in the morning. There's been very little movement towards the LA Kings. The Kraken come off their third win in 4 games, 4-2 with the Sharks on Monday. Who are they beating? They're not beating good hockey teams. They're a healthy group. They're just not nearly as good as we thought they were going to be. They have Vince Dunn back, which is very important. The Kings finished their road trip in very disappointing fashion. So they defeat the Canucks 3-2. Now, I should have faded the Canucks last night, and I was afraid to. And I don't want this. So one of the reasons why I was very hesitant to make this move is because I was very hesitant to back Vegas, even though it was the only way I was looking, was just because they just got 7 out of a possible 8 points on a road trip, and it was their first game back. We know how difficult that is. Now, this is the Kings' first game back, but it's a very different situation. They beat the Canucks 3-2. Then they lose 4-1 at Edmonton. They lose 4-2 at Calgary on Saturday night, which just was horrific to watch. I had to turn it off. And then they lose 4-3 to Winnipeg on Monday. They're 3 points up on the Blues with 1 game in hand. Philip Deneau is day-to-day, which is not a spot maybe you want to back the Kings without Philip Deneau winning faceoffs and penalty killing. Carl Gunstrom out with a lower body injury. To put it all together here, I'm on the Kings -1. And sometimes in capping and in gambling, and maybe this is maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe this is irresponsible, but I feel like sometimes you just got to go down with the ship. And if the Kings don't show heart here, then I'm going to lose everything on the Kings. And maybe this is irresponsible gambling, but how does this team not step up in this spot? How does this team not show heart in this spot? And we will see tonight. I'm on the -1 line. Barry Smith on the Kings money line. DC Capper 3-in-1 day. I love to see it. Smoking Tree, I'm going to copy and paste that. Nate Dogg on Kings first period money line. Okay. And then Swiggy says it better. You got to take a position and stand on it. That's a little better. Let's move on to the final spot on the board here. 10 p.m. Eastern. The Vancouver Canucks 46-21-8, 21-12-4 on the road at the Arizona Coyotes. 31-38-5, 20-18-0 at home. I'm starting to figure out what I'm going to do on that Rangers game, by the way. Just so you guys know. If I move on 2 of these spots, which I very well might on the totals, I'm going to drop it to 66% of you. I'm going to drop it to $200 a bet. it'll just be a unit for record keeping purposes. But just so you guys know, if I move on 2 spots on the total, you guys will know that it actually is a little bit less I'm betting than what I put on the money line, which was just a regular bet, which is 300, in which I probably should have opened up and gone harder on. Back to this Canucks Arizona Coyotes spot. We're at Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona. We have Arturs Silovs going up against Connor Ingram. I'm high on Silovs. I think he's going to be a good goalie. We'll see. He's only had that one game, and he looked fine against the Ducks in a 3-2 win. Connor Ingram, 908 save percentage, 6 shutouts, but he's really come back down to earth. Vancouver power play at 22.5%. Can you imagine that Arizona's power play is basically tied with the Canucks power play? I mean, it's just so hard to believe. 75.8% penalty killing for the Arizona Coyotes. The Canucks are on the second half back-to-back after suffering their third loss in 4 games, 6-3 at Vegas last night. Elias Lindholm has missed the last 4 games with an undisclosed injury. I mean, it doesn't help to have him out of the lineup. It was a bad trade by Alvin and Rutherford. Another team's trash is not your treasure. I'm surprised that we went after Lindholm when we play them all the time and we beat them all the time. And Lindholm doesn't scare us, but let them make those ass clown decisions. And we're rich with ass clown decisions in Vancouver after Jim Benning. So it's not a rarity to get another kick in the throat from the Canucks management, but it's fine. We could have got way more with Kuzmenko last year before we signed him to that $10 million 2-year contract. He was worth so much. He was looking like the second coming of Kaprizov. Not as good as Kaprizov, but still a sniper of the highest quality. We're not going to re-sign Elias Lindholm in the offseason anyway, so, but still, it's a mistake with assets, and it's going to hurt them down the stretch. And if the Kings play them in the first round, the Kings are going to beat them in the first round. The Coyotes coming off an 8-5 loss to the Rangers on Saturday night. There have been 25 goals scored in the last 2 Arizona Coyotes games. What did we see from the Predators? The Predators had back-to-back games where it was a similar amount of goals were scored, and there was no goal scored till there were 6 minutes left. And the Canucks better show some heart, or Rick Tocchet's going to slap everybody open-handed in the face on camera in front of everybody. Barrett Hayton out with a lower body injury. I'm not going to sit here and expect the Canucks to show heart. Where is Toddler Shoulders Pedersen? What, is he counting cash in the corner? Where is he? Dakota Joshua is our best player right now. Look, it's just more losing for Canucks fans. We're used to it. I didn't get too excited when we were on top of the league. I hope the Jets fans didn't get too excited when they were on top of the league, because we're 2 franchises that lose. We're a pack of losers. Get used to losing. And that's our NHL breakdown for Wednesday, April 3rd. Let's review all action. Right now, I'm on the Lightning money line at plus 114. Sorry, I'm looking at my Leafs team total under possible look there. The Lightning, I think, is the best bet on the board. And I'm going to be on an under in some capacity, and maybe it's just a Leafs team total under. I think I might just end up there. Then maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm just thick-headed that Rangers -1 is just the bet for them to bounce back here and put their foot on the throat of the Devils. So I'm going to look into that. Oilers first period plus 101. Kings -1 at -117. And that, my friends. Kong's Clip says, if you don't feel confident putting a unit on it, you probably shouldn't bet it, brother. I couldn't disagree more, Kong's Clips. For me, I think having a 0.66 of a unit doubling up on 2 total spots is a very fine thing to do. I'm very comfortable with doing it. Don't forget, $200 on a game was my full unit size, 4 months ago? So, but I love hearing what you think. I don't mean any negativity towards what you said, but I disagree. The idea is because I'd be doubling up on 2 variations of a bet. So in fact, I really have over a unit on the bet. But that's the great thing about what we do. And the great thing about life is that you have complete autonomy in how you want to handle things. All right, that is NHL. It is time to move on to Major League Baseball and bring on the star of Say Hey Plays of the day, coming off yet another winning day and looking good. Record is looking good. looking good, and we need to keep climbing. We need to keep moving forward. I feel like we're seeing things pretty strongly for early part of the season, but things can get away from you quickly, and we need to stack winning days. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio, Jose Bouquett. Jose, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right, Jimmy. I can't complain. Doing good. 2-1-1 yesterday. I fucking snuck away with a push there with the Guardians Seattle game. I felt like I got very fortunate throughout that whole time, and that has just made me off of all Guardians games for a little bit. But that Yankees Diamondbacks game was very interesting last night. It's very annoying that I took the Yankees when, again, like you mentioned, I have Nestor Cortez on my literal fade list. I wrote down Diamondbacks first 5, and then a little line movement just brings me all the way back towards the Yankees. Was a little annoying, and shout out to everyone that cashed on that. I'm glad you guys did.
Wow, sorry, huge news. Sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but Fanatical Jim saying Wall is confirmed for the Leafs, which takes away the whole Russian goaltenders going up against each other. Takes it all away. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Fanatical Jim. Thank you. This is what this show is all about, getting all the information as much as possible. Sorry, keep rolling, my man, and thank you.
No, that was really it. I just had, like I said, I have literally, again, a list of pitchers right here, and it's funny, my first 3 names on there, Manoah, if he makes it, Nestor Cortez, and Jose Quintana. So it's very funny that I've backed both of those guys this year already. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, I've actually faded Quintana with you, and I don't remember how it went. But no, I backed Nestor now, and it's been disgusting. But it's been very interesting to watch, to say the least.
Yes, I didn't fade Quintana in that spot, but yes, your pre-season reads on the pitchers that you have been working. I mean, Javier was the only one who looked good, and he starts today. So I think I think, as you did in the offseason, you went over every bet you made over the last 2 years and what was working, what isn't working. Well, this is working. Studying who you want to fade and who you want to support. But I think the fade's always going to work out a little better than support here. Perky saying Brewers team total over 3.5 runs in the early game. Staying off the O's, this game, Burns will not go through the same on the other side of the rubber. This will be an all-day affair. Okay, let's get to work here. And we have Kelly McInnes' 4-game parlay. We also have a nasty, who is Lamont Williams giving us Baltimore run line. I've copied and pasted that. I've copied and pasted all the action. It's not in front of each game. I'm going to go back all the time to make sure that I can talk about your spots on each game, and I'll hopefully we'll be able to set that up better as we move forward, especially when we get to days where it's just MLB, which is coming here soon. Schnizzle in the house. Dodgers team total over 4.5. Says I'll be on that pretty much all year. What is the record of that now, Jose?
The team totals?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look right now. I'll give it a refresh. Right? Yeah, I would assume it's 8-0, but yeah, I'll refresh right now.
Those 4.5s are going to go away. I mean, these will turn into 5.5s.
8-0. And by the way, the Reds are 5-0, and the Pirates are 5-0 still as well
on the team totals.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Because I know they're also undefeated, but.
Yeah, no, it's very funny. And the team total under teams, if you guys care about those, the Rockies are 1-5, so 5 unders. The Astros 1-5, 5 unders. Those are the only 2. The White Sox are also 1-4 as well. So very interesting.
Just before we get to work here, Justin McKelvey, maybe I didn't explain that properly. That's probably going to take me off of all of the unders. I wanted that Russian goaltender story of the Russians elevating their game when they play against each other. And, that's so I'm all over the Lightning. Lightning's the best bet on the board. I had some fear about Samsonov going up against Vasilevsky. When you go up against greatness, you tend to follow in that pursuit rather than buckle under the pressure. That's why you made the NHL in the first place. Okay. Let's roll. Jose, let me make sure I've got everything up here properly ready to go. We're going to move the cash over to MLB.
Yeah.
Again,
Today's very interesting as well, by the way. A lot of repeat offenders today going for their second starts. So I'm going to be interested in that. I have a bunch of leans right now. I have 3 plays that I think I'll make official, one that no one will be surprised by, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting day, I'll tell you that.
And we have a lot of rain issues. I'm just going to, before we get into all of this, I'd like just to go over exactly which spots, because we'll just go game by game. We'll go game by game because as we saw, there's some spots that RotoWire thinks won't go, and there's some spots that Swish thinks will go. So it's and let me refresh Swish because I've had it up all night.
Yeah, Bo, by the way, I went 2-1-1 yesterday, so that's, it was a winning day. Can't complain, but could have been ugly if the Guardians game didn't stay under, and that was like bases loaded.
How were we not on the Guardians yesterday? The Bieber breakdown off of the top of the year that you gave, how is that not put a bunch of money in my wallet? But
yeah, he's bet on this year for sure, and then he's going to get traded to someone else, and then
but he also is a guy who deals with arm fatigue. How long is he going to bet on for?
Exactly. And I think shout out to our guy Sharpie. I saw his tweet saying that his velocity has been up again as well, back to where he was in his prime. And again, I bet you again he's throwing hard because everyone shit all over him for the last 2 years. So like, his velocity's down. You can't pay this guy's velocities down. Now he's gonna, bring it back up, throw as hard as he can, et cetera, risk that injury to get his big payola.
Yeah, get 100 million. Yeah.
And then after that, his velocity's gonna go right back down probably, but he's still gonna get cash out. And he's gonna be worth the money too, probably. So
at this point, RotoWire has 5 games that they don't expect to go. And this Orioles is first and foremost. Don't expect to go. I think we're going to get a lot of double dips tomorrow. We know we're getting the Mets Cubs double dip. The Mets Tigers double dip tomorrow. The White Sox game is not expected to go.
The White Sox haven't even named a starter. They're just like, fuck this.
The Phillies game is not happening.
It's already gone?
No, it's not gone yet. But I mean, it's just the heavy rain, it's 100% chance of rain. And then the Washington game, 69%. You have a little bit better of a chance there. The Mets game is just not going to go. I just don't see how it could possibly go again. So we're going to at least have one doubleheader tomorrow. And then Mize is going to be waiting again for starting since 2022. We have Joe Ross, who has been starting since 2021. So, the Mets game's not going to go. The Cubs game has the highest chance. The second highest chance is the Washington game. The other 3 just aren't going to go. But we're going to do our due diligence. And I'm not against still throwing in a bet unless the markets move too far away from us. Okay. Let's roll here. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. We have the Kansas City Royals 2-3, 1-1 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles 3-2, 3-2 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. When we get to this weather in Baltimore, light rain in the beginning and light rain at the end. I mean, according to Swish, this game could go. I don't know if they're going to wait until 4 p.m. Eastern. But according to RotoWire, this game's not going to go. So we'll just do our due diligence here. 11.8 miles per hour in right to left, dies down for a little bit when the rain goes away. And then as soon as the light rain comes back, it's right back at 11.4 miles per hour. From a money line standpoint here, we have the Orioles. Again, we're going to be using Pinnacle moves. We have the Orioles at minus 161. They opened up at minus 159, and they got up to minus 180 30 minutes ago. So in the last 30 minutes, there's been a 20-cent move towards the Kansas City Royals. Then from a total side of things here, we are sitting with a 7, minus 119 to the over. This opened up at 7.5 and has dropped to 7. Then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, you have 77% of tickets and 96% of cash on the Baltimore Orioles. And then on the total, you have no information. But we do have 21,436 tickets in. Perky says they want to try to start this game, try to get 5 innings for sure. And Purdy said O's will try to play their coach said he wants to start and drag it out if possible. They can get ugly if Burns starts and it delayed for hours, so I stayed off. Lil Domo said it's been raining since Monday here in Charm City. DC Capper on the under 7, and Res Mob said it's been raining the last 3 days in New York City. Smoking Tree said I still put in the plays regardless. If it gets rains out, just get refunded. Yeah, no, I totally respect that. It's due diligence. So we talked about Cole Ragans on the Rangers and Cole Ragans on the Royals, and they were two completely different pitchers. The Royals, Cole Ragans is the ace of the staff, and this is a staff with all these high draft picks. In his first start, he looked excellent. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, 3 walks, and a homer in the 4-1 home loss versus the Twins. I was on the Twins in that game. The market indicated that the Twins were very live here, and I was questioning whether Cole Ragans was going to be the one that we saw at the end of last season or the one we saw at the beginning of last season. He allowed 13 earned runs over his last 3 spring starts, 12 in the third, but he looked very good when push came to shove. Then we have Corbin Burns. His first start, he looked excellent. 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. Baltimore stepped up for their city after the bridge collapse. They look great. He looked strong in his last spring start against the Blue Jays. He's an excellent pitcher. Last year, he went 10-8, 3.39 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 193 and 2/3, 20 Ks, and 66 walks. JT in the house. Gifted Cartel says, you think Corbin will get over 6.5 strikeouts? That is a bet in rain situations that I would never be comfortable making. Who knows how long he's delayed? Who knows if the rain comes in and there's a stoppage? It is not worth the pain. It's not worth the pain. So I would not ever leave your action to have, weather having the most control over whether you get paid or not. Here we go, Jose. 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Swish says this game is going to go. Take it away. Royals, Orioles.
Yeah, I stayed off. I mean, obviously, the first thought here was a first 5 under in the game, full game. But you said it yourself. The rain does make everything a little sketchy. Who knows? These guys are going to come out again if they go delayed. I just want nothing to do with it here. So I pass. I will say that, Burns did see the Royals last year, of course, dominated them. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, and 4 walks. Still dominated them, though. But I definitely just passed on this game. I respect both these guys. These guys both are back pitchers for me. But, yeah, I lean under here, though. But, again, the rain makes it hard to bet these games.
It does. I don't see why I wouldn't throw in the first 5 under, though.
I would love if Action gave us some fucking money information. That'd be great. I'd love to see where all those 20,000 tickets are. I would also love to know that as well to make me more inclined to bet the under as well.
I don't see how runs are scored here. What are your thoughts about the Orioles versus lefties this season? And touch on your thoughts. Will they improve from last season? And what are your thoughts there against lefties as we move forward?
Is Cole Ragans not a righty? Am I dumb?
No, Cole's a lefty.
Jesus, I thought that for sure he was a righty for whatever reason. Well, they're 8th last year against lefties, 112 weighted runs created plus, and honestly, I do expect it to get better. I mean, what did they lose last year? Nothing. They're just going to get better, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were tattooing lefties this year. I mean, again, it's 8th. It's really good, and I could easily see them just being up there and better. The only teams that were better than them, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Rangers, the Rays, who I think drop off, who we talked about, the Astros, the Padres, and the Braves. All those teams are very, very good offensive teams as well. So maybe it's hard to crack that top 8, but I still think they'll be up there and really good. But Ragans is really good. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'll stay off here. I'm worried, but I do agree that I would lean under.
Well, I'm going to send in the first 5 under. Let me just get this set up here exactly how I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to send it in. I mean, it's very expensive to take that under 4. I hate the minus 125 totals. I hate them. I may end up getting there. I got to decide. I'll decide on while we have this game, if it pops off when it's supposed to. Why don't we just see what the Baltimore weather is right this very second?
Yeah.
Here we go.
And Johnny Guns, I use another website for line movement because sometimes Action's lines are a little weird, and it gives me more, information, the site I use. I've told this story before. It made me feel good that I use the same site as Troy Torrance. So that made me feel like I'm a smart person.
I think that I believe that this game will be delayed and will go fully. I really do. I think this game, as long as they've taken care of the field okay, the game will be delayed and will go fully. So I'm going to get in this first 5 under. Lil Doma says a little drizzle right now. All right.
Well, yeah, this opened up at 7.5 too, like you said. Now it's at 7, so that should make you feel good about it as well.
Well, no, it doesn't. I knew that this game would move towards the under, and I just
getting it in earlier.
And that's what we've been talking about, right? We mean you have to get in as early as possible with totals, and I would prefer not to get in too early on money lines unless you're on a favorite where you know the line's going to move to unless you're talking about a -1 favorite. But everything else, I would prefer to see sort of the market mature. Nate Dogg, we don't really want to promote sites that aren't Pop Sports Radio, so I will message you the site that Jose uses because it's different than the site that I use, and we'll go over all of
it. You know my site too? I didn't know you knew this.
Let's move. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Troy. You think I don't know what Troy's doing? Okay, let's go. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels at the Miami Marlins. Angels 3-2, 3-2 on the road. Marlins 0-6. We talked about it yesterday. Who wants to catch a falling knife? It wasn't me. I didn't want to catch it. Some people tried to. That shit is dangerous. Marlins are losing baseball games.
They're going to be really bad this year as well.
I don't know who wants to get in the way of this stuff. We have, I got the first 5 up. Let me get the full game totals up here. From a full game scenario, we have they're sitting at 8.5. It's juiced to the over, but it hasn't moved off the opener from 6:05 p.m. last night, which is over 8.5 -116 to the over. It's not moved, not at all. Then from a money line standpoint, we are sitting here with the Marlins at -110. They opened up at -108. Another situation where we've seen no movement whatsoever. Then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, we have 25% of the tickets and 33% of the cash on the over. And we have 78% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Marlins. Patrick Sandoval looked horrible in this first start. He looked bad last year. He's not the pitcher that we remember from 2022 at a 2.91 ERA. We have to scrape that from our memory. He went 1 2/3, so his arm's fresh. I don't know how he can be trusted. AJ Puck couldn't handle the pressure. In spring training, he was a monster, 23 strikeouts and 13 2/3. But when the games mattered, he went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, 1 K, 6 walks, and 7-2 home loss versus the Pirates. I don't want to back a side here, but I also don't want to sit here and expect both these lefties to continue to pitch horrible. Troy says, is the move not the over? Market-wise, the move is the over. Look, it's my vividness bias of Patrick Sandoval and my recency bias of what AJ Puck has done in the spring. Wine Time knows Sandoval inside out, so still has the tools to be really good. He dominates low-end lineups like this. There's no doubt that Troy's seeing a database trend on the over. I would, 25% of the tickets, 33% of the cash, and the line's not moving. I think the volatility with these two pitchers is very high. Take it away, Jose.
See, and you use Pinnacle for your openers, obviously, for the total?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have Bet Online's, obviously, and Bet Online had a 9 in this game. It was obviously a juice 9. It was -120 to the under, but they did have the 9, and then it went to -125 for me. Then it obviously went to 8, and it was a juiced 8 to over -120. Then I saw a -110, and it just keep going down to the over, or to the under, excuse me. Then at around showtime, actually. It went back up from -115 to -120 to the over. So that's where I was looking at this, and I saw that money to the under, and I said, okay, if we're dropping, I'm actually decently interested in an under here. I actually think that AJ Puck, he did have the Hershey squirts his first start, 6 walks, I definitely think he was just nervous, shitting his pants in his first major league start there at a new squad. So I think he can bounce back here. I think this is, not a 1-to-1 example, but I think this is another version of Garrett Crochet. I really do. I think AJ Puck, if he can just get his fucking mentals together, it seems, and throw strikes, I think he can be, another version of him, a good reliever coming into the starting rotation, et cetera, et cetera. Now we'll see how it goes. I think he can pitch well against, a shitty Angels lineup, obviously. And I think the same thing for Patrick Sandoval. Now, God damn it. I just wish he left the Angels. I know if he was on the Rays, he'd be disgusting. If he was on like the Brewers, he'd be so much better. Just a team that could, develop pitching or something of the sort. I just think that Patrick Sandoval, like Wine Time said, can both get into these bad lineups. So I honestly like a first 5 under here, 4.5. I don't know if I'm going to make that official. I'll sit on it for a bit. We can talk about it more because, you and Troy are seeing the over markets there. So if that's the case, I'll probably just end up passing. But I did lean an under here, thinking that both pitchers can bounce back against shitty lineups.
Arthur Meade Jr. on that under 8.5. Kelly McKinnon says, I think this gets over easy. So yeah, I'm off. I'm off this spot. I think the volatility is high and a lot of opportunities here on the board. So let's roll on. Next up, we have 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins 2-2. All 4 games played away from target at Milwaukee Brewers. 4-0 on the year. 1-0 at home. We have Chris Paddock on the hill. Chris Paddock today. Jose, we have Joe Ross on the hill today. Pitchers we haven't seen in many moons.
I looked up Joe Ross's stats against the Twins just to see. I was like, oh, he might have a start here recently. His last start against the Twins was in 2016. I was like, oh my God, this man is ancient.
I was also surprised. I was also surprised that he's 30.
What?
Yeah, I thought he was so much
oh my God.
That.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Ross hasn't pitched since 2001, saying JT, or 2021. Sorry. But Chris Paddock, let's start him. He's throwing 27 in the third big league innings in his last 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, he was supposed to be a good prospect for the Padres. I watched him play. Yeah, I watched him play here, and I have a friend that's one person removed from him, so I could get his phone number if I wanted to.
Absolutely wild. So we have Chris Paddock and Joe Ross, who we haven't seen since 2021. So he had surgery, Tommy John surgery, for the second time in the summer of 2022. He started with the UCL impingement, and then it was a full-blown surgery. Back to Paddock, though. Paddock is showing no signs of being able to pitch in the majors. He showed no signs in the spring. Now, 8 Ks and 1 walk, that's a fine K to walk ratio. Allowed just 1 homer. I mean, maybe those are signs. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on him. You know who looked great in his last spring start was Joe Ross. He looked excellent. He 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 Ks, 1 walk versus the Cubs. He had 17 strikeouts in 12 spring innings. Joe Ross, I think, has the ability to pitch in the major leagues. This total is at 8.5. It's 8.5. It opened up plus 101 to the under. It's now minus 104. So we've had a 5-cent move to the under. And from a money line standpoint here, we have the Brew Crew at minus 103. That's where they opened up minus 103. And then cash-wise here, we have 33% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on Chris Paddock and the Minnesota Twins. Oh, sorry, that's the over. My bad. Sorry, let's do that again. Sorry. 33% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the over 8.5. And we've seen the 5-cent move to the under. And then we have 76% of the tickets on the Minnesota Twins. We have no cash flow information. 15,000 tickets. We should, but we don't. 76% of tickets on the Minnesota Twins. Take it away, my man. The floor is yours.
Go ahead. Shout out to Jonathan Yim, by the way. Jonathan Yim, birthday. Shout out to you, my man.
Uncle Jay. Happy
Jonathan
birthday, Johnny.
Yim.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Here's the birthday pick. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's my birthday pick. Tampa Bay Lightning. Now that's a plus money spot. Now I could find one in baseball, and I yesterday But it's always been the Lightning for me. I can look for one in baseball, but right now it's the Lightning that I like the best. But I'm gonna write it down here, and I'll look and see if there's one that I like as well in MLB. Uncle Johnson's birthday. Our guy, Uncle Jay, man, he's a great guy. And Christopher Ing, another great guy, says, wanted to find out Pub Sports Show this Saturday for the road to the Derby. If not, no worries. We're in discussions about that right now, Christopher Ing. I can't confirm anything at this point, and I apologize for that. I can guarantee you the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont all right here on Saturdays. The Derby, the first Saturday of May, 2 weeks later, the Preakness, 3 weeks later, the Belmont, all good to go. But at this point, I can't confirm Saturday, and I apologize. Really, really apologize. We got Sportsman of the Year ready. Drop a little woo to get us rolling. Take it away, Jose. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, and by the way, shout out to Kong's Clips. I hope that your brother can battle it out over there. Has found out he has a liver disease.
I didn't even notice that. Sorry,
T's and P's, Kong. Hope you're doing okay.
Oh man, yeah. Good God, that's tough, man. It's God, it's awful. I'm so sorry, Kong. I'm gonna copy and paste this too, so I can keep in my thoughts. If we could all take a second and send all the love and positivity out to Kong's Clips, to the family, and to his brother. That is heartbreaking, man. So we'll be thinking of you and sending all the love and positivity and healthy energy to your brother. I'm so sorry to hear, Kongs.
Yeah,
that's awful.
So I bet into a similar situation that we have here yesterday. No, the day before that. It was the Guardians Mariners first game. Line was minus 110 towards the Mariners. It flipped. Guardians were then the minus team, and I was like, okay, I'll bet the Guardians. They lose 5-4. I was like, okay, well, that's annoying, but I still would rather bet into those situations, honestly. And we have two of them today. And if I bet one of them and I don't bet the other one, I feel like, I'm not, doing justice to it. It's part of the teams, it's part of the cap, it's part of, all that stuff. But I think the Twins are the side here. I really do. And I don't like saying that because I said that yesterday and the Brewers went out there and just whooped their ass. But I think that Paddock can be a good pitcher, especially because the Twins have been pretty good about their pitching development. He's healthy. That helps a lot. The last 2 years, he just has not been healthy. So I think going into the season, healthy is a big thing here. And do I really trust Joe Ross to do the damn thing? I don't know. I was shocked to find out he was 30 years old. You telling me that is going to fucking send me down a tailspin here in his baseball reference. But the Brewers are very good pitching development team, and they're not going to bring him in here just to, fill up innings. I think he'll have a pretty good start to the season as well. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a low-scoring game. But I do think the Twins can win this game. So I think I'm going to be on the Twins here, minus 106 for me. Now, again, I mentioned how that spot flipped for the Guardians game. Same thing here. Milwaukee opened up minus 110 on Bet Online. And then the slow chug towards the flip happens. And then today it's minus 108 for the Minnesota Twins. So I've got it at minus 106. I'll take it. Full game money line. And I also trust the Twins bullpen as well. One of the best in the league. So.
That's a interesting breakdown. I think that the volatility is huge, and I will live vicariously through you in Family Field over there in Milwaukee. We have Jose moving on the Twins minus 106. Let's move on. And by the way, I did move on the KC Baltimore first 5 under 4 minus 125, and if this loses up, this will be my last minus 125 total of the year, right off the hop. My ROI is negative on them. I don't know what. I love having the push and play so much at the 4. Okay. Let's roll on. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers 3-2, 1-1 on the road. At Tampa Bay Rays 3-3, 3-3 at home. All 6 games so far played Tropicana Field. Why in the world was I not on the Rays yesterday? And obviously, Savali looked great in his first start, and I could go back there. Not that Nate Eovaldi didn't look great, but I mean, Eflin to bounce back at home. I mean, it was just right there on a silver platter. My dude says, Mr. Bouquet, the Cardinals pick yesterday, won me 400 with my Zach Gallen strikeouts and Shane Bieber strikeouts. I love it, my dude. Respect. I love hearing that. Christopher Tatum in the house. Rangers money line at plus 100. Let's get to work here at the Trop. We'll start with the total here. This total sitting at 8. It's minus 113 to the under. Interestingly enough, at 10:52 a.m., this popped up to 8.5. We still have this 11-cent move to the under. So there was this. This came out at 6:01 p.m. There wasn't a move to the under until it moved to 8.5. Then 5 minutes later, it moved back to 8. And then 33 minutes after that, the 8 had 13 cents of movement towards the under. So it's a very, very interesting pop-up to 8.5. From a money line standpoint here, we are sitting here with Savali and the Rays opening up minus 118. They're now minus 120, a 2-cent move towards them. When we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have 76% of tickets and 75% of cash is on the Texas Rangers. We have 50% of tickets and 87% of the cash on the under, 50 and 87. Why did it pop up there? Oldie, we don't ever need to worry about the weather here at the Trop. It's the ugliest dome since the kingdom. Nate Eovaldi, 12-5, 3.63 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 144 innings, 132 Ks, 47 walks. His first start, he looked good. He had a very strong spring. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk, no home runs, and a 4-3 home win over the Cubs. Savali, we talked about it, the opposite of Cole Ragans. Savali on Cleveland looked very strong. The Savali on Tampa Bay the K to walk ratio much stronger, WHIP way higher, and ERA way higher. In his first start, though, he looked very good. 8-2 home win over the Blue Jays, in complete control, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 1 walk. He didn't pitch much in spring. He hadn't pitched in an actual exhibition game since March 10th. He probably needed that start, and he could be even better here. Take it away for us, Jose. Rangers Rays.
Yeah, I was obviously leaning Rangers here with Eovaldi first 5. And by the way, after thinking about, you have to have just balls to bet pitchers every day, no matter what the market says. So shout out to the guys like Dabby Cab here. I fucking love Nathan Eovaldi as Nasty Nate's saying in the chat here, but the market just not on my side here. Oh, and by the way, I'm fucking dyslexic as fuck. And it's actually Kongs with the disease. So I'm sorry about that, Kongs. And I hope you're doing all right, my man. So I hope you're doing okay, my dude. So
wait,
I thought it was your. Yes, he said my brother, as in like you're my brother, Jimmy. I was just dyslexic as fuck. So sorry about that, Kongs. And I hope you're doing okay. And reach out if you need anything, my guy.
Oh,
so,
he has liver disease.
Yes.
Oh,
I read it. I read it as his brother. So Kong, hope you're doing well, my man, and let us know if you need anything, as always. But yeah, Nathan Eovaldi.
No. Wait, we got to stop. I didn't realize.
Yeah, no, I read it wrong as well there, and I looked at the chat and I was like, oh damn. Well, Kongs, I hope you're doing okay, my man.
Oh,
I felt like a dick for being a dyslexic there.
Shit, Kong. Damn. God, sorry. I saw the brother and I thought I read that wrong too. Ah, fuck. Okay. We got to figure, Kong. We need a way to. I know that you're not on social media. We need a way to get in touch with you as well. It's not enough for us just here in the comment section.
Yeah. So let us know.
Yeah, and God, that hits differently. Well, we're thinking of you, man, and I'm gonna reach out so I can get some more information and figure out ways that we can help, because I'm sure there's things we can do other than just thinking about you. And fuck, Kong, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. And the best thing we can do right now is just focus on the capping and focus on what brings us joy. But please, if we can you email Pub Sports Radio and give us at least your telephone number or something so we can get in touch with you. And just doing it just through here it's not enough. And we love you, man.
Yeah, agreed.
Thank you for getting making me realize that I screwed that up too. So okay, continue on, my man.
Yeah, so I like Eovaldi, obviously, but the market's just not on my side, it seems here, and I don't want to. I would like the market to correlate with me, as we all know. 77% of the bets, 75% of the money on the Rangers there. For me, our friends at Bet Online, this had a minus 118 opener. It's kind of jigged around here. It's very interesting. It dropped to minus 106 for the Rays. And if I saw that, I'd be like, oh, great. I'm going to bet the Rangers here today. But it just did a steady climb back up to the Rays minus 120, dropped down to like minus 113 and just climbs right back up again. Even goes up to minus 123. So, yeah, I smell something weird here. I'm off. I will say Josh Young being hurt is a very, big thing. Because I distinctly remember last year, and everyone knows I was tracking the Rangers pretty closely, but when he went out, their offense just hit the shits. Now it's a lot different this year. They have Langford, they have Evan Carter. That helps out a lot. They didn't have those guys last year at that time, and that is when they hit the shits. But he's a big portion of this offense too, no matter how young he is. So I'll be interested to see how they bounce back and how they adjust offensively. Obviously, shout out to the people that are going to be betting Corey Seager today. I hope you guys cash. He's very good, especially no hits yesterday, and a guy he owned as well. So very interesting, but no action for me on this game.
Well, I'm going to have action on this game here. That's a great idea, Perky. Jose and I will figure that out. That one rocked me. I just there's one of us that just hits a little different. Fuck. JP said might sweat through a Nerfy in this one. Look, if this total didn't have that bump up to 8.5 for a little bit, I would be on the under. Now, I see what everybody else is seeing. There's now been a move to the under. It's not enough for me. That bump throws me for a loop. It tells me that one of these pitchers is vulnerable. And Jose,
a lot of U shapes in baseball right now. A lot of U shapes,
and those scare me. And I don't really want to be involved in them. But I tell you, I think the vulnerable pitcher is Nathan Eovaldi out of these two.
Yeah, it does. It definitely seems like that market wise. It makes me seem like Nathan's going to be the one touched up here. So I wouldn't hate a team total for the Rays here as well. So
I'm going to bet the Rays. I'm going to be on the Rays. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today in. I copied and pasted it. Can't wait to talk about it in the Cards game. Rays will be in my card, and I'm going to have to bet this. This game pops off in 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to get this action in, and I'll do that here in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and this is going to be happening often here in our shows, and it's all good. And
by the way, while you make your bet here real quick, I'll say this. The one that you mentioned that LJ was the person that you didn't get to spend enough time with at Palooza. My person for that, Jay Peasy. I felt like I saw Jay Peasy like 3 times, and then Saturday night there was my I need to recover day, or I'm going to be a fucking dickhead on Sunday to everyone day. So I didn't get to see Jay Peasy enough, but shout out to Jay Peasy.
Yeah, I didn't get enough Peasy time. That's why we do it every year. That's why we're going to do it every year.
Yeah.
All right, I'm moving on the Rays. I'm going to be betting that here shortly. We move on to 2:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Atlanta Braves 3-2, all 5 games on the road thus far. The Chicago White Sox 1-4 at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. So this is another spot here where there's a expectation that this game will not go. Let's just pull up their thoughts here. This has got 82% rain at RotoWire. And over at Swish, Swish up here. Over at Swish, this has light rain, light snow, and snow.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. I do not think it's 37 Fahrenheit at first pitch. This game does not go. By the way, Joe Yurkovich on Rangers team at total over. Leon going for the White Sox, says our guy. Now Tanner Banks is the primary. Lefty Tanner Banks, expensive. I just don't see a world where this game goes. But we'll do our due diligence enough here. Leon is the opener. This total is.
I just saw the line too, Jimmy. I just saw the line, and you know what it means.
Which
the
line?
Money line. the money line.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, there's been a move to the under, of course, with the weather from 8 to 7.5.
Yeah.
And from a money line standpoint here, we have the Braves opening up minus 354 right now. They're minus 355. Look, the Braves don't want to play in this weather.
No, they don't. They've got a bunch of Venezuelans on it. You think I want to be in the snow? Fuck no. I know they don't want to be in the snow.
Yeah, Kongs, we're right there with you, man. We're right there with you.
Sure.
You're in our prayers, you're in our thoughts, and you will continue to be. This is obviously an under. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
who's pitching. I thought it was going to be Nick Nastrini, and I wanted to see him pitch. But
Yeah, I
it
would
doesn't
like
look.
to see who that human is.
He's a 24-year-old, but the
It's
Dodgers guy.
disgusting. It's getting disgusting that all these guys are younger than me, Jimmy. It's getting to that point where I've heard a lot of 24-year-olds. I'm like, fuck, this is horrible.
You'll get over that fast. But here, I mean, what is there to do? If you're doing due diligence, the first 5 under, I guess.
Yeah, well, I put my bet in as well. It's minus 380 for the Braves. So mark it down. The first minus 300 fade of the year. White Sox funny line, full game. Now, obviously, is this game going to get played? Probably not. But I'm still going to put in the bet. And if this is a stop-start game, give me the fucking White Sox, who, their bullpen obviously is not as good as the Braves. But I'll roll the dice there with a team that's in the cold all the time. So give me the fucking White Sox here. Come on.
Best we can give you is plus 317 available at Bookmaker and BetCris. Plus 317. Let's lock in Jose.
Great. I bet 320 just now with my local, so even better.
Perfect. We'll give you 320. All right, I'm gonna move on this first 5 under. I just do not believe this game goes. Billy Freddie says Chicago scores less than 2 runs, even if the game isn't canceled. I'm gonna move on the first 5 under, but I don't see why I wouldn't just first 5 under and full game under. I mean, there's just nobody's hitting the ball in this weather.
Yeah, and
it is blowing out though. It is blowing out.
This weather reminds me of the Tigers game. I think it was last year when Miggy hit a home run in the fucking snow for the first game of the season. So if it's snowing, they will play the game. We have seen that before. But it just needs to be, clear field. So it'll be interesting. But I just don't believe in those motherfucking Venezuelan guys to go out there and hit a baseball either. So I love that underplay, but who knows if this game goes.
All right, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to get those 2 bets in, the Rays in that first 5 under in Atlanta, Chicago. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 3:37 p.m. Eastern, we have the Boston Red Sox, Jose and Nasty Nate's Boston Red Sox, Pikers, Boston Red Sox, 4-2, all 6 games played away from Fenway. At the Oakland Athletics, 1-5, all 6 games played at the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's get into the weather in Oakland. 56 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour to right field, gets up to 13.6. So decent offensive weather in a very pitcher's ballpark with enormous outfields and the biggest foul area in Major League Baseball by a landslide. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. We have Slick Nick Pivetta. That's Bovada. We have Slick Nick Pivetta minus 162. Open up minus 145, a real legit 17-cent move towards Slick Nick. Then from a money line, I just did the money line. Sorry, let's get back to the total. Sorry about that. From a total standpoint here, we have it sitting at an 8, minus 113 to the under. Opened up at 8.5, so we have a half-run move to the under. Expecting Stripling to look a little better than he looked last we saw him. We have no information on the total. But we know that 95% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on the Boston Red Sox, and the line is moving towards the Boston Red Sox. Nasty Nate looking at the Red Sox trifecta.
I respect it.
So first start for Slick Nick, he looked incredible. That's the best I've seen him look. And
he's going to be like that all year. He's going to be really good, and he's going to get traded at the deadline, and it's going to hurt my feelings.
Ross Stripling had a horrific spring. 18 earned runs, allowed over 19 in the third. Then he allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings. Did not look good in a loss to the Guardians. I imagine that he pitches a little better here. Take it away. What is your plan? Red Sox A's, 3:37 p.m. Eastern, 12:37 in the afternoon for them in Oakland. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this game. I've passed on it. The line's moving towards the Red Sox. I am so thankful that I had that late ad of the A's team total on my card yesterday. Honestly, I thought that was my best bet of the year I've made so far because they scored like 4 runs in like 3 innings. And then I was like, great, I don't have to worry about this bet anymore. And they fucking end up losing the game, which would have been, I would have been so angry if I took the fucking A's money line there. But yeah, I have nothing on this game. Like I said, I think Nick Pivetta is going to be a bet on pitcher all year. He's on my list. I'm not betting the Red Sox.
So why aren't you on
it
it here? Why wouldn't you bet it here? I mean, whoa.
I just don't want to take like a -1 or a -0.5 here. I've been kind of just taking the straight money lines to make my life a little easier. It's a little bit too juiced.
How's the bullpen
truthfully.
set up right now?
Well, they fucking used all the guys yesterday. Jansen, Martin, everyone, all of the number 1 guys pitched yesterday. And I'll say like, everyone on the Red Sox, besides like a few relievers, and I can pull up, and RotoWire does a pretty good job of doing their bullpen usage things. You just have to learn how to read it first, and then you can get it. But yeah, they used everybody yesterday. It was a really good managing game by Alex Cora. It's another reason why I'll miss him dearly. But like Greg Weisert's really good. He went. Isaiah Campbell went yesterday. Jansen threw 26 pitches, so he probably isn't going to go. Winkowski threw yesterday. I would imagine he's available, but I could see guys like Weissert, Campbell, and Winkowski being available again, but again, I just always have a little bit of fear going to the second half, I guess, like a back-to-back, and I get the second half of it of a reliever. Who knows if they're tired, etc. Obviously, it's still early, but I definitely lean Red Sox, and I don't think Ross Stripling just doesn't want to be in Oakland. That's why he's sucking ass. So I don't want to fucking be here.
He's old and he got his payday and he's got to prove it. No one else is going to give him a chance to prove it. If he pitches well here, he knows he gets to play somewhere else.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, fuck it. I'm just taking this money and just walking away.
All right. So is the idea that this game starts at? I mean, I don't see how this isn't I can understand the public being all over the Red Sox here. Now, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is Ross Stripling is great, and it's 0-0 or 1-1 after
scoring
6.
Ball game. Yeah,
that's the worst case scenario. And then your Red Sox -1 still alive. It was live yesterday, despite Oakland taking a lead in that ball game.
Yeah, and TJ only pushed, but the push is fine. Yeah, and that was a super public spot yesterday as well with reverse line movement. So,
but the books were fine because think about how many run lines were on the Red Sox.
Of course, yeah, no, and that's why again I was like, God, thank God I took team total for the fucking A's. And I had Troy's comment of reverse line movement is 3 times more profitable for home teams in my head, just burned into my memory now.
It's a very important line he gave out. It was a nugget, an absolute golden nugget. Okay, let's roll on. So I feel like I should get that in sooner rather than later. I mean, that's just everyone's going to wake up and fade the A's. All right, let's roll on. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the New York Yankees 5-1, all 6 games on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-2, all 6 games at Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona. Now, we went over it yesterday. It said that the roof was going to be open just because you can't trust everything. Let's just click on it again. The last thing I want is to smash my computer into pieces. I already did that at Pubapalooza. It still works. Yes, the roof is open. So let's go over to Swish and see what the weather is expected. Beautiful, beautiful weather for baseball. 75 Fahrenheit, barely any wind, 5.2 miles per hour to left center. Stays, around 5.2 miles per hour. Bo Jackson says the Diamondbacks smash again. Let's go into the line history here for this one. Merle Kelly. Oh, shit, I keep going to Bodogs instead of Pinnacle. Let me go over to Pinnacle. Merle Kelly sitting at plus 103. So there's been a 3-cent move to the New York Yankees. When we get over to the total in this one, we have it's sitting at 8.5 minus 103 to the under. So there's been a 5-cent move towards the under. So very little line movement. Let's get to the cash flow then. In this one, we have for the total 57% of the tickets, 61% of cash on the over. And for the money line, 47% of the tickets and 58% of cash on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The market is saying that this is a tough baseball game to predict. We have Carlos Rodon, the lefty on the hill. Of course, he was horrific last year, and he looked much better. Now, he only made it through 4 1/3 against a Houston team that smashes lefties. He got lit up in his last spring start, but he looked fine in 4 1/3. 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 3 walks. Not dominant, but fine. Merrill Kelly looked excellent in the 7-3 home win over the Rockies, but that was the Colorado Rockies. He allowed 1 earned run over 6 2/3. We talked about this 35-year-old being the real deal. He's just the real deal. He got what he needed out of spring training. It only took him 8 1/3 innings, and he stopped throwing on the mound in exhibition games on March 18th because he knew he was ready to go. 14 strikeouts in those 8 1/3. He's a special pitcher. Any team in their league would be all over this guy. And this is an interesting spot. The market's saying there's no real advantage here. Do you see an advantage, Jose?
Yeah, it's funny how different our markets have been today. So Bet Online opened this up yet again. -110 for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that is flipped all the way to -110 for the New York Yankees. And I said earlier in the program, there were 2 spots like this. I lost on it with the Guardians and Seattle Mariners, but I'll bet it here again, and we'll see how the results go. On the New York Yankees, yet again, full game money line here. Now, I fully expect this to be a low scoring, I'm going to sweat my ass off kind of game in this game. And while saying that, I started doing the research on a first 5 under here and what I wanted to see here. So obviously you mentioned how the market is for the cash flow on it, 57% of the bet, 61% of the money on the over. But I have this starting out as a 9 and dropping down to 8.5 here. Which makes me very interested here. I wanted to double check that. Yeah, I had that at Bet Online. Now, again, it was a juiced 9, so it was -125. So you could say that it's already going to, kind of drop down to that 8.5 when it's juiced. I can understand that. But it's, kind of gone down. It's almost down to -110 each way for 8.5. So I think I am going to move on that first 5 under here as well. I want to check the movement for the first 5 as well. It's a nice part of this website. You can check first 5 movements as well. Sure. And that's why I didn't move on the first 5 money line, because, the line did flip from Yankees to or Diamondbacks to Yankees. But that first 5 money line has stayed -110 basically the whole time. And I was like, okay, well, obviously this seems like it's going to be like a very even, low scoring game to start out. Both these pitchers pitch well. And then at the end, we'll see whose bullpen holds up. So, yeah, and I'm hoping that the Yankees didn't use up any good arms yesterday when they were getting fucking slapped around. So, by the way, first 5 total market here, it opened up at -125 to the over for the 4.5 and has dropped down to -115 now. So I'm going to take it. I will let you know what the price here for it is in a second.
Okay. I like it. I'm going to stay off of the spot, but I can completely understand from an X's and O's standpoint why you are on that spot. I'm in the process of getting the Rays, Red Sox, and that first 5 under in my action. By the way, JPZ took the Nerfy on Texas Tampa Bay -125 10 minutes ago. Now it's -134. I like it. It's a good sign, Jay.
Yeah, I have been itching for a Nerfy or a Yerfy bet, honestly. That's like my degenerate baseball bets, and it would definitely be Yerfy's on Dodgers games. I just bet it, by the way, under 4.5 at -105 there for the under there, and that makes me feel good that the line is just tugging my way. And now I'm getting actually a shit line. I wrote, well, not really shit, but I wrote down -106 for the Yankees, and I'm going to bet it. It's -111 now for the Yankees there. So on that, and by the way, I don't think I made this official earlier, but I am betting it again right now. The Twins at -106.
Nori Takai is an interesting question, because I didn't think that the sharp consensus was that the Yankees would suck, but he says, Jose, what are your thoughts on fading the early sharp consensus of the Yankees and St. Louis sucking? Basically, bet on the teams that professionals said that are going to suck.
Nori, let me tell you, I don't know, obviously who you listen to or all that stuff, but I don't listen to specifically gambling previews for baseball. I just listen to podcasts, previews, and they're very general and just getting people's thoughts on the Yankees. It's kind of like thinking, for me, it's like, what do the public think? And it was just everyone shitting on the Yankees. It was just constant, just slandering the Yankees. They're horrible. Now, of course, I enjoyed it being a Red Sox fan, but they just said this team's going to be horrible. They haven't done anything to make this team better, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, okay. But Rodon, I think, was one of the clearest bounce back guys all year. He had a shit year last year in his first year in a place that's notoriously hard to play in. I think he had as an easy bounce back candidate. I thought Marcus Stroman was a good signing because he's a dickhead, but the Yankees need those kind of guys in that market. And chip on his shoulder guy, et cetera, et cetera. And Juan Soto is fucking really good. And all those things have turned out well. So I've said it hundreds of times now. I'm sure people in the chat, I know Nasty Nate's tired of me saying it. I think this Yankees team's really good. And I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to make the World Series this year. And I am fucking disgusted saying that. And I've bet them. They're my most bet team this year. I'm actually only, I think, 3-2 on Yankees bets this year, and that's because I lost yesterday, and then I lost the first 5 as well with the Yankees. So that's why I've only taken full games here as well with the Yankees. So it's disgusting. I really think they're going to be good, and who knows how long they'll be good. And the weirdest part about all this is that Garrett Cole obviously is not here. And the Yankees have still been pretty good, so who knows? But yeah, as Joe Yurkovich is saying, I've never been wrong about saying that a team is going to make the World Series or not win the World Series or not make the playoffs. So who knows? I could be just some slapdick idiot saying this out to the distance, and by fucking next month or fucking last place, who knows? But I think it's a Yankees and a fucking Phillies World Series this year. So the Cardinals, I don't know about. I'm sorry I spoke all about the Yankees. The Cardinals, I am a little more back and forth on. I think the Cardinals are a franchise that doesn't have back-to-back good, bad seasons. So I think they'll be a 500 baseball team, but I'm not sure about them.
I like it. Great answer. Let's roll on to the Cincinnati-Philadelphia game. I do not see a world where this game is played.
I agree. Did you get your bets in, by the way? I was trying to filibuster for you.
I did.
Yeah, no,
I got them in. I just haven't tweeted them out, so I'll do that at some point. And I did message the Dutch when I think NBA will start. Reds, Philly, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just we'll do our due diligence, and maybe we should send in a first 5 under. But it's raining all day and all night. 45. It's also 20 mile per hour in 20 to 6. I mean, there's just no way this goes.
Wind going in.
Yeah, going in.
Yeah. I wrote down one of my first thoughts in this game was first 5 under too. The market just kind of wasn't jiving with me a little bit, but I obviously was right there with you. I was like first 5 under. I didn't even check the weather either, and that's when you say 20 mile an hour winds blowing in. I mean, come on,
ridiculous.
But yeah, so if this game doesn't go,
This game doesn't go, but there's no harm in sending it in. The under 7.5 is -101. There's been a 2-cent move to the under to -103. From a money line standpoint here, you have Wheeler and the Phillies at -177. They opened up at -194. So there's been a big move to, Frankie hard toss Montas, Frankie fuck toss Montas. He looks awesome. I made a big thing about the psychology behind Frankie trying to pitch at the end of last year, not being allowed to, with so much to prove. Really busted, all this stuff, and he looked incredible.
Yeah, he's on your early rotation right now. It's him and Scooble.
I don't like parts of Frankie. Those guys that I have in my rotation, I really like them. But he looks like he's got everything in the world to prove. Because there was a time on the A's I thought he was the legit ace of that staff.
He was better than Luzardo. He was better than a lot of good guys on that staff. And then the Yankees just told him to go fuck himself.
And Dan Barnett says, live in Philly. Really, really hard to see this game going. Weather's a joke out there and supposed to get harder this afternoon. And Resmob saying the Mets game will not go off. And to our guy, Kong's Clips, I love what you wrote. And, he said, positivity moves mountains and it's plenty enough. I'll beat this shit and nobody will know the difference. But thanks, guys. Yeah, that is the attitude and we believe in you. And and we're going to be riding with you through this whole thing. So we're right there with you, Kongs Clips, and I've just loved having you capping with us each day, and that will continue on forever. So, all right, we got to go. And the 4-game parlay from Kelly McInnes, I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, so I don't see. There's no way this game goes. There's just no way this game goes.
Yeah, I'm not betting it. I definitely lean first 5 under, though. I agree wholeheartedly with you. I just didn't get enough of a market move to really push me in that direction.
I'll send it in. I mean, there's no harm in that. But okay, we move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern with the Cleveland Guardians, 4-2, all 6 games on the road. The Seattle Mariners, 3-3, all 6 games. We didn't talk about Zach Wheeler's, how phenomenal he is.
That's par for the course. Yeah, he gets his contract. He does that. He's one of the only pitchers. Like, I thought when he signed that deal or went to the Phillies, I was like, oh, what the fuck? There's a lot. Like, I was, kind of down on him coming to the Mets, and I don't know what the Phillies did with him. He's like the only pitcher. Him and Nola are the only pitchers they've ever developed in the last 10 years, and they did a great fucking job.
Developed. I think that's why.
Yeah, but he went to them and just took up another step, and I was like, how the fuck did he do this? And he was great.
He's the best pitcher in the league. Okay, but here we go. Guardians, Mariners. God, the money I've left on the table through 2 starts of Shane Bieber is enough to make me smash something. I have no excuse. This total is at 7.5. It's bumped up to 8. So it opened at 6:01 p.m. yesterday at Pinnacle. It got bumped up to 8 at 8 this morning, and then it got back to 7.5 at 8:30 this morning. Right now, we have a 13-cent move to the under, so there still has been a move to the under. It's a very strange market there. Then from a money line standpoint here, we're sitting with Kirby at minus 163, opened up at minus 165. So we have a slight 2-cent move back to the Tribe. Then when we get into the cash flow here for this next spot, we have 60% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the over. And it's very, very surprising. Very surprising. Crazy. And then 56% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. So, I mean, what the market is saying is that Logan Allen's going to be much better than he was in his first start. Remember, this is a 25-year-old lefty, a crafty lefty. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how the Mariners are going to hit lefties this year. His first 4 appearances, he looked pretty good. The K to walk ratio is a problem, but he looked pretty good. And then his last appearance of the spring, he got lit up and smoked. Against Oakland, went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 Ks, no walks, but he allowed 2 jacks. Kirby looked absolutely spectacular. King Al, no, I'm just on the Rays money line, but I can understand that look. And my dude says, love Kirby, 4 strikeouts all day. This is a strange market. The market's not running towards Kirby. Kirby's an emotional pitcher who is spectacular, to start Seattle season. I don't know. I don't really know if I want him here. What are your thoughts? Take it away.
Yeah, I watched him dazzle against the Red Sox. His first inning was weird because he had 2 walks in the first inning, and he's literally the best strikeout to walk pitcher in baseball. He's so good, and he looked kind of off, but Jimmy, we've talked about this before. If your guy has like a rough inning, first inning, and then he manages to wiggle out of it and get out unscathed, it just seems to immediately lock him in and just go for the rest of the start. That's what happened to Kirby. He just went out there and did his thing for the rest of the start. It's interesting because I do obviously trust the Guardians when it comes to pitching development. Logan Allen, the guy they have in their staff, and he didn't pitch poorly against the Oakland A's. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs on 2 home runs. That's not bad. But I have just consistently got Guardians games wrong this year. 0-3 betting them so far. Lost 2 first 5 unders because the Guardians have scored all the runs by themselves, literally. And I'm just like, okay, I just can't do this right now. It's just ridiculous. So I passed this game. It's definitely fishy. The market has, your ears stand up, and it seems like maybe the Guardians are alive here. I thought the plus 140 is a little aggressive, honestly, or like a little high. I think that should be a little lower. I think this might be like a minus 130, minus 140 favorite for the Mariners, but I just didn't get there with it. So I passed. I just keep losing bets on the fucking Guardians, and I can't do it. And I pushed yesterday.
Yeah, I'm comfortable moving on. I'm comfortable moving past it as well. Let's roll on. Next up, we have the pig milk play today from Billy Friedrich, St. Louis Cardinals first 5 money line at plus 135. Also, a bunch of the copying and pasting I did above MLB.
That was a pretty good pig.
Over it all here. because the taint play today is the Red Sox first 5 minus a half. We didn't shout that out. Taint play today, Red Sox first 5 minus half. Troy Torrance also, he's on the Diamondbacks money line. We talked about that earlier on the show.
Damn it, Troy.
But Red Sox first 5 minus a half is the taint play of the day. But let's roll on here. So we have the pig milk spot here on the cards. By the way, 14-8 at plus 6.72 units. He's on Cardinals first 5 at plus 135. Cardinals 3-3, all 6 games played away from Busch. Padres 3-5, 2-5 at home. Now remember, it's really 1-4 at home, but they haven't looked good at Petco. They haven't looked good this season. Let's get into the weather first. Over in San Diego, we have 65 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour left to right, but slightly in. Stays between 8.5 and 9.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Musgrove. The total is at 8.5 here. It's at 8.5, and it's opened up at 8. It was juiced to the over at minus 114. This was 5:57 p.m. last night, and now it's at 8.5. So we have a half run move towards the over. Then,
by the way, the Orioles game got moved up already.
To what? Oh, okay. It's going to go.
Yeah, 2:05 now.
I think we're right. Now that could get moved up again, but I think we're on the right track there. I think that game's going to go, and it was good that we did our due diligence. On the money line side of things here, we have Musgrove sitting at minus 156. Opened up minus 143. We have a 13-cent move towards the San Diego Padres. We had Moose Money come in and talk about looking at like Musgrove was dealing with an injury. He did not have a good spring. In his first start, he got lit up for 5 earned runs over 2 2/3 in Korea by the Dodgers. His second start, he gets lit up for 4 earned runs over 5 2/3 at home versus the Giants. So now he's had 5 days in a row. Just the continuity of being at home, second straight home start. Is that going to change anything? The market is saying that it will. But look at the live betting market when the Houston Cougars lose their star point guard. The market can't react properly. The Duke was still plus 2.5. The market can't figure out that something's wrong with this guy. They're using data over a period of time, and the market can't control. Like, the market sees Musgrove go 10-3 with 3.05 ERA last year. That's what they know. That's what they see. So is this a spot that we need to be making money on? Zach Thompson's first start of the year, 26-year-old Zach Thompson, a lefty who I believe in. He got touched for 3 home runs in a 6-3 loss at the Dodgers. Went 5 1/3, allowed 5 earned runs, and look, the long ball got him. He had a very strong spring. I don't see why the Cardinals aren't a gift because of what we know about Musgrove. 27% of the tickets and 72% of the cash is on the over. 88% of tickets and 91% of the cash is on the Padres. I can't wait to hear your breakdown because we have the same information. Take it away.
Yeah, no, shout out to Miss Money. And I don't know if you heard, but my pig was pretty good just now. My moose is even better. Shout out to Moose. I don't want to back Zach Thompson is the whole crux of this. I don't want to touch Zach Thompson.
Because the Padres smash lefties, or you don't trust Zach Thompson?
I would say both. Yeah. And we talked about this. I forgot who the lefty it was that they faced earlier. It might have been Kyle Harrison.
It was Kyle Harrison. 8-3 win for the Giants, but 2 jacks. Harrison allowed 2 jacks, and he's pitching today.
Yeah, and I said it then, and I believe in the Padres against lefties. They lose Soto, who's a lefty, and blah, blah, blah. They were the second best team against lefties last year, 123 weighted runs created plus. I can easily see why this game went a tick towards the over. But the real bet for me, I leaned so heavily towards the Cardinals here. And I was just looking for some sort of, indication. Like, give me a sign that I can take the Cardinals here in some form or fashion here. And I do like that sharp money on the over. That does help me a little bit, because I think there's going to be runs given up in this game. So, and the fact that this is juice makes me feel like they don't want you to bet it. So Cardinals team total over 3.5. I'll eat the juice, minus 125 for me. I know Pete's probably asleep right now, but I'll even play this for Pete.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Minus 125 for me, 3.5. Even like if Musgrove has a good start, 6 scoreless, whatever. I think the Padres bullpen is very liable to give up more runs too. So anything we get from Musgrove is a bonus, and I think we can get a few off of him either way.
So sorry, I have my action out in the world. Red Sox -1, -128. Atlanta, Chicago, White Sox first 5 under 4 -105. I don't think the game goes. And Rays -119. I still probably plan on moving on that first 5 under, and I should probably do it. Just have my due diligence done in that game that we know is not going to play. The Reds Phillies game. Which is just, it seems ridiculous, but it just should be done. But this here, I'm going to be on the first 5 over. So, Jose, can you give me your action once more?
Team total over for the Cardinals, 3.5, minus 125. Yeah, it's just going to be, and I thought about kind of backing Musgrove today because thinking like, it's been a little bit now. Maybe he's gone his sea legs under him, but I think this might have to be one of those situations where we bet against him until he shows us. So,
all right. Interesting. Okay, let's roll on. We have another. So I'm going to be moving on that first 5 over. That game pops off in like 3 hours. So the first 5 over and the first 5 under in Cincinnati, Philadelphia, I will add in, but I don't know if it will go.
And I obviously, by the way, was worried about recency bias cashing on the Cardinals last night, and betting them again is also a concern, but hopefully that does not happen here. And by the way, I have considered more and more every day reading The Undoing Project. And by reading, I mean having someone read it to me in an audiobook format.
Let's go. And they're naming their children here. Rez Mob says to honor the gambling gods, he's naming his third child Nuggets first half. And Billy Friedrich says, meet my children, 3-leg parlay, first 5 under Nuggets.
Old 3-leg. I would like that. Old 3-leg. I would have to call him that. I mean, my kid's middle name is going to be Fenway, so it's going to be interesting to say the least.
6:45 p.m. Eastern is where we get started next, and we do have rain issues here as well. Pittsburgh Pirates undefeated on the young season. It harkens back to last season when the Pirates went on that magical 30-game run. And then we're never spoken about again.
It's going to happen again.
The Nats 1-3, 0-1 at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. I believe it was a 68% chance of rain, 69% chance of rain, according to RotoWire. When we get over to Swish has a good chance this game goes. Swish expects this game to go with no qualms. So I think this game probably goes. So let's focus. Joe Buddy dropping his action. I will copy and paste that. Thank you, Joe. But let's roll here. We have Mitch Keller, 13-9. Helen Mitch Keller. If you could fire up Helen, whom we love dearly. 13-9, 4.21 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. 194 in the third, 210 Ks, 55 walks. First start went 5 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were in 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 6-5 win at the Marlins. Didn't look very good.
She tried to fuck us. We were on her this start, and she definitely tried to insert it where we didn't want it.
The wind is sorry about the screaming in the background. Carter is he's hitting. He's using his fists. That's how he's handling situations.
Good. There's no words, just fists with Carter.
Yeah. The direction of the wind is left to right, across the plate, left to right. Very good pitching weather. And we have one very good pitcher on the mound, we think, in Mitch Keller. Trevor Williams, though, 6-10, 5.55 ERA, 1.60 WHIP last year, 111 Ks and 144 in the third. This spring, he allowed 24 hits in 15 innings, 0 walks. He was just throwing the ball at 85 miles an hour right down the heart of the plate and seeing what happens. Only got taken yard 3 times, so it wasn't so bad for our guy Trevor Williams, who's sneaky. He can be sneaky. He's a strange pitcher and a tricky one who never gets respected by the market. Why should he? But there's times when he's at home and he's in his comfort zone that he can be okay. Trevor Williams and the Washington Nationals opened up at plus 134. They're now at plus 130. We've had a 4-cent move towards the Washington Nationals. Now, this is a veteran pitcher who doesn't need to go out there and show movement or do anything but just get warmed up for the season. And he did eat up 144 in the third innings last year. That's all they needed from him. This total is sitting at 9. It opened up minus 116 to the under, now minus 108 to the under. So we have an 8-cent move towards the over. And then from a cash flow perspective here, here we go. We have no help on the total, but we know that 27% of the tickets and 35% of the cash is on the Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals look a little bit sharp. Do you want to back the Washington Nationals here against a team that's undefeated?
Yeah, I definitely thought about it. I have definitely considered it. I was hoping that we could hash this out and, we can come out on some sort of consensus here. But you mentioned it. I'll just reemphasize it again. 73% of the bets, 65% of the money on the Pirates. And that line has just said, fuck you, I'm going to the Nationals. Now, I'm bet online. Let's be specific here when I say this. Let's see here. At Bet Online, this opened up at minus 139, climbed up to minus 150, and then just took a shit all over itself, I guess. Just plummeted right back down to minus 138, minus 140. Why is that? I don't know. I really think that the Nationals are alive here because I definitely wrote down like Pittsburgh money line last night, thinking, maybe we'll get a bettable line here. But they're undefeated. These Pirates have gone and plundered anyone they wanted to. This has been a great time. I've had a tear shed in my eye. My Tucapika Martano jersey in my closet is hung up proud. Is he even on the Pirates anymore? Is he in the majors? I have no fucking idea. I actually do not think he's on the Pirates anymore. I recently heard his name somewhere else. But God bless that man. Yeah, I think I'm going to be on the Nationals in some form or fashion here. I just need to figure out how, Jimmy. Are you going to join me here?
I am not. I'm not. But I apologize. My son wants me to come to his rescue. I
understand. Yeah, I get it. I do too.
I cannot come to his rescue though. If he wants to, pull out the pipes and start punching everybody, he's going to have to deal with those consequences. I love you, buddy, but I'm working my man. Okay. I can't join you. I can't try, but I get it. I'm not fading Trevor Williams, so I get.
Yeah. And I've cast a shocking amount of tickets with Trevor Williams on the mound in the last year.
I've been okay with him as well. I've been okay with him as well.
It's been so weird.
I idea what Trevor Williams is going to do out there.
No, that's why I want to take a team total, and it's again a juiced one, 3.5 minus 125. And when I see a 3.5 minus 125, that automatically makes me feel like they don't want you to bet it. So I have it written down here again, Nationals team total over, and I just hate that I have a lot of action here today. It's something that I've been trying to keep down on, but we'll see. We'll talk about it when we get to the end here. But yeah, I think I'm going to move on Nationals team total. It's the market screaming at me, and maybe Helen Mitch Keller isn't as good as we think. Who knows?
No, I think Helen Mitch Keller is fine. I just don't know what Helen Mitch Keller, how it's the very beginning of the season, and he's going to put 200 innings on his belt. So, but this just might not be the spot to back him. That's all. If you move on the Nationals, I can understand.
I just did.
Yeah. So what is the line you got?
Minus 125, 3.5.
Nats team total over 3.5 and minus 125. See, I think that the market is now. We have no cash information on the total, and we've seen it move 8 cents to the over. So you're right. You're saying that Mitch Keller is more vulnerable than we expect. Yeah, I think it's I think we need to stay very focused on our minus 125 totals because the ROI for me is not being good enough. But Jose's on Nats team total over 3.5. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, and I just wish this game would go, man. I just want to watch Casey Mize pitch. Am I asking for too much here? It's raining nonstop. It's not raining. Well, I don't know if it's raining now. I should pull that, but rain throughout the day. And
should I call Pete and ask?
Yes, give Pete a phone call. Sure, that never hurt nobody. I want to watch Casey Mize pitch so badly. First overall pick in the 2018 draft. We've talked all about him. We talked all about him yesterday. I want to watch Adrian Hauser at home. I expect that he's going to be a decent pitcher at home, a trustworthy pitcher at home, sort of like he was doing with the, Milwaukee Brewers for years. He was a pitcher that I have a great ROI on supporting him at home. I do not think this game goes. Let's go over the total right now. It opened up at 7. It jumped up to 7.5 at 9:13 in the morning, but it's back at 7.
Hey, Pete, we're doing the show right now, and we're talking Mets Tigers, and I'm calling for weather reports. You're a man of the city, so I just need to know if it's raining out there. Yeah, Mets. Oh, yeah, Mets Tigers. I don't know. You tell me, Pete. I'm asking you. You're boots on the ground reporting.
It's fucking cold as hell, rainy. When is the game supposed to start?
Jimmy, when is this game supposed to start?
This game starts at 7:10 p.m. Eastern.
7:10 Eastern.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like tonight, but right now it's fucking cold as hell. I mean, unless you're talking about Jake DeGrom, who always falters in cold weather like this. It's obvious underweather. It's fucking it's rainy as hell and fucking cold.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I just did some boots on the ground reporting, so I appreciate you, Pete.
I mean, at 7 o'clock, it could be very different.
Well, Pete, your reputation's on the line here with this weather report, Pete. If this is not a good weather report, then I can't go back to you.
He better be wearing that pimp jacket with no pants.
Are you wearing the pimp jacket with no pants? Jimmy wants to know.
No, but I look good. I mean, I look as I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. So you officially think this game is not going today, Pete, is what you're telling us.
What I said was, asshole, right now, the fucking weather is awful. But I don't know what's going to happen at 7 o'clock.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say the game's not going, Pete, and I'm going to put your stamp on it and let the chat know. Thank you so much.
I don't think this game goes. I don't think there's a chance this goes. We have the double dip tomorrow. We'll have Casey Mize in the morning. RVD saying it's raining heavy. Not succulent weather for pizza.
I'm glad you guys got to hear all that.
I think that we just got to let this go. And at this point, with Casey Mize expecting to start the last 2 days, what's he going to look like tomorrow? I don't even know if I want him anymore.
Yeah, who knows? I got semi-excited because when I started writing the games out, ESPN had Scooble to start out. Now
tomorrow, it's Casey Mize in the morning and then Scooble.
Yeah, for Tigers fans, you better watch tomorrow because that's your fucking future. Both games right there. Hopefully, goes well for you. But yeah, I can't do it either. I cannot.
I don't think it goes.
Yeah, I passed this game. We can make that short and simple there. I had nothing on this game either.
At first pitch, there's 20.8 mile per hour weather in. It stays between 20.7 and 20.9.
You can bet all the unders for these rain games and hope they go.
And hope one goes. Just hope one
just
goes.
Please.
All right, well, I might just move on the first 5 under and see what bangs out. But let's not talk about that game anymore. The problem is the next game also a huge problem with weather, and also it's a bullpen day. We have Ben Brown as the primary. I'll pull up Ben Brown's baseball reference, but huge question marks around these pitchers. 59% chance of rain. I imagine that Swish will expect this game to go.
If there's snow in Chicago for the fucking White Sox, how is there not snow for this one?
Yeah, you're right. 39 Fahrenheit, 38 and 38. There was I think the reason is that White Sox game, it's going to be snowing in the afternoon. So the snow is at 3 p.m., light snow at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. It actually warms up a couple degrees by nighttime. But no, that is a very, very good point. Saturated says doesn't know anything about Ben Brown, says that this is and Wu Rizza says 20 minutes from Citi Field, game not going.
Thank you, Wu Rizza. I need your number now for boots on the ground reporting too, apparently.
We do need that. So here we go. Does this game have a chance of going? What the hell is Cal Quantrill going to do? Port Hope's very own Cal Quantrill. I don't know, what he's going to do. In his first start, he had 5 earned runs over 5 innings. I don't think anybody has high expectations for this guy. 58 strikeouts, 99 2/3 last year. That was when he played for a team that's a pitching factory in the Guardians. Now he's over with the Rockies, and that's where pitchers go to die. So I mean, I don't know how anybody can have any real sense of what the hell's going to happen in this baseball game, other than it's going to be freezing cold and it's going to be hard to hit. This total opened up at 6.5 at 8:22 this morning. Went to 7, and then it got to not a real 7.5, but a listed 7.5 around 9:46 a.m. This 7 is heavily juiced to the over, and I don't really understand why. I mean, these guys are not going to be able to hit in this weather if this game goes. The Cubs are at minus 204. They opened up at minus 196. We have an 8-cent move towards them. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, and the Mets game has been postponed.
God damn it, Pete. You son of a bitch, Pete.
Markel saying this game is being postponed. But here we have 10% of the tickets and 79% of cash on the Rockies. And why wouldn't you trust Cal Quantrill over this bullpen day? And then 40% of the tickets on the under, no cash flow information. Is there anything that you're interested in here?
Absolutely not. I don't like betting bullpen days in general either. And I'll say this. The Red Sox have Andrew Bailey, who was a part of the Cubs, like pitching mind. And the Red Sox pitching has been amazing to start the season. It has been shocking, to say the least. And now that the Cubs don't have him, I just don't trust him. I don't trust the Cubs as much. So no action for me here. I'd rather be on the Rockies. And this low total of 7 is quite funny because just keep betting these unders and hope they go, I guess. But yeah, no action for me on this one.
All right, we have 2 games left in MLB here. 2 games left. Just let our guy Dutch Boy Fresh know. We're going to be getting into NBA soon. And the weather will warm up, and this will become easier. And Joe, you were saying these games got to be canceled here. Got to be canceled.
Yeah, and they should be.
Saturated says moment of silence for what should have been a Justin Steele victory.
Saturated. Unfortunately, Justin Steele was on my fade list as well this year, so I'll just say that
he looked great.
He faded himself.
He looked great in that first start.
Then he just fell apart.
Well, he didn't fall apart.
And then he just bodies. He literally fell up. His hamstring just said no more, no mas. Roberto Duran.
8:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toronto Blue Jays 3-3. All 6 games played away from the 6. At the Houston Astros 1-5 through the 6 games at home. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Vincent, my man, Vincent. God, there's a guy I did not get enough time with. And that's because that day he came was my blackout day. So that'll happen. Chris Bassett going up against Christian Javier. Bassett did not look good in his first start. He had a good spring, but he did not look good in his first start. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were in 6 Ks, 2 walks, 1 homer, and 8-2 loss at Tampa. Now, a lot went wrong with Bo Bichette in the field in that game. A lot went wrong. Javier in his first start was spectacular. 6 innings, no run, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and 7-1 loss at home to the Yankees. And he had an okay spring. Let's get into the line history here for this one. What a baseball game that was yesterday. My goodness. That was such a fun baseball game to watch. So much. It felt like a playoff game right starting off the year. We have the Astros opening up minus 140. They're now minus 139. They did go down to minus 132. That movement was last night. But we've had no real movement at this point. There's some early movement, but none of late. From a total scenario, we're sitting here at 9. It is opened up minus 117 to the under. Now it's minus 114 on the under. So it's a plus money proposition on the over 9. There's been a 3-cent move on that plus money proposition. And then when we get to the cash flow here, you have 67% of the tickets and 96% of cash on the over. I guess after watching the pitchers duel yesterday, they think that these guys could get lit up. It's 50-50 here on the ticket count. We don't have any money help here. Doug says seems like a Blue Jays full game spot. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, so my early 2 stands, as everyone knows, and if you've been watching the program, has been the Yankees' success and the Astros' failures. Now 1-5, it makes me feel great. Like, oh, great. It's, whatever. But I want to bet the Blue Jays again are here so fucking badly. And I don't know if it's me being pissed off that I didn't bet them yesterday and I added to the waffle play of the day. I do enjoy waffles, by the way. Those do look excellent. And I would say my collar of my shirt is not unbuttoned enough. But I just don't know. It's just a tough one here for me. Now Bassett, we could talk about him. He got crushed, but I still believe in him as well. It's like an old machine. You just got to get it like oiled up a little bit, ready to go. He's pitched against the Astros twice against them last year. 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. At the Astros, 6 1/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. I think the Blue Jays can get it done here again today. Now, again, Javier was on my fade list, is on my fade list. And the main reason for that, he's basically a 2-pitch pitcher. He's got a fastball slider, and if this one of those 2 pitches isn't working, he's fucked. He threw a changeup a lot in his first start this year, and that's probably what the Astros told him, like, you need to find a third pitch so you don't get fucked like you did at the end of the year. And he threw his changeup a lot. Now, if you look at his numbers individually on the changeup, it's the pitch that got hit the most. Double giving up on it, and like 2 hits as well, and he gave up 4 hits. So you can tell that was his pitch, and he needs to keep on working on it. But I really want to bet the Blue Jays here. I just need to decide if I'm going to take them, another team total here or a full game. Actually, that just has got decided for me. I looked at the team total, 3.5 minus 150. Jesus. So, I think I'll be on Blue Jays full game money line here. Betting it right now, plus 127.
I get it. I mean, if this is a weighted coin flip, you're getting a plus 127. It just feels very coin flippy, and you're getting a plus 127. So I get it, but I'm not going to be involved. We have a question from Leroy Flood. Mike Trout, Trevor Story, Yordan Alvarez home runs. I've not studied those situations. If anybody has, if you could jump in and let our guy Leroy know what your thoughts are on it. Let's get into the last game here on MLB, and then we will break down this beauty NBA basketball card coming off a 2-in-1 day, a plus 0.89 units in NBA. We'll take the W and move on, but I left money on the table without a doubt. 10:10 p.m. Eastern, we have the San Francisco Giants 2-4, all 6 games played away from Oracle. At the Los Angeles Dodgers 6-2, 5-2 at home. The one game was in Korea. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. God, it looked electric last night. It looked just like heaven. 59 Fahrenheit, chilly, 7.6 miles per hour to right field. It dies down to 5.9. So 1.7 miles, it gets cut throughout the game. This is a pitcher's ballpark. It's cold and the wind is blowing out. That 1-2-3 that we've been talking about with the Dodgers, I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair. Mookie, Ohtani, Freeman. I mean, and even
it's disgusting.
Will Smith batting 4th with the way he started off the year.
He just got a 10-year deal, and he's arguably the best catcher in baseball, and he's the 4th guy that you want to see, and that's ridiculous.
Kent Davies, we popped it up on the screen. Moving on the Valero Texas Open in San Antonio. He's got Keith Mitchell over Brendan Todd at minus 120, a very large bet on that. He's also got a big bet on Bhatia over McNeely at minus 110. That's for our guy Kent Davies. Says, that's it for golf. Please say prayers for me or join me.
Kent, are those guys that are probably not going to make the cut? Because I have been considering going to the Valero Open. And if I go on a Thursday when everyone's still there, I should say when I go on a Thursday and it's cheaper, let me know if those guys are playing and not going to make the cut, because I will follow these fuckers around, and I will bet on whoever you said. So let me know, Ken. DM me.
We have the 22-year-old Kyle Harrison, the lefty, on the bump for the San Francisco Giants. Could you pull up Jose in Kyle Harrison's very young career? Remember, he was the number 1 rated prospect when he started, the lefty. Only throws about 93, but crafty lefty. If what he's done against the Dodgers, if you could pull that up for us. We know that the Dodgers' ability to hit lefties there's no concern. Remember, we talked about 2 or 3 years ago being their kryptonite. That's no longer. In his first start, it was against the Padres, and we know that they smashed lefties, and they got 2 home runs off of them. They were solo shots, and they were the only earned runs that Harrison allowed. He went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 5 Ks, no walks. This is a good pitcher. He had a good spring. This is a very good pitcher. Going up against Tyler Glasnow, and, Glasnow is just extremely talented. And he has now made 2 starts. He made the 1 start in Korea, looked very good, 2 earned runs over 5. Then he went up against St. Louis and looked very good there, 1 earned run over 6. And this guy just looks locked in right now and is very likely a bet on. And we know this team is bet on. Let's go through the line history here for this one. We have the total at 8.5, minus 115 to the under. Now this dropped down to 8, dropped down to 8 at 2:30 this morning. It lasted there till 7:15 this morning, which is interesting. And I want to know who on the Giants staff can pitch against the Dodgers, because Logan Webb's not one of them. Who can't? Is Kyle Harrison going to step up and say, I can? This money line has the Giants at plus 185. They opened up now 190. So we've had a 10-cent move towards the Dodgers. This move didn't happen until this morning. In fact, there had been a slight move towards the Giants last night. Then when we get to the cash flow for our final game on the board, we have, let me get over here. Oh, it's because these games have started. My bad. We get to the final game on the board. We have 94% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Dodgers. We've seen a 10-cent move towards them. It's 50-50 on the total. Take it away, Jose. Our final game on the board. Any interest in Giants Dodgers?
Yeah, I honestly, and I think I have like some sort of prejudice against Tyler Glass now. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's too hot. Maybe I've watched him pitch poorly against the Rays. Maybe it's attractive. Too hot of a guy. Yeah, maybe I'm jealous. Who knows? Maybe it's because he looks like Cillian Murphy. I don't know. I've wanted to fade him, and I have, and it's not been successful, obviously. But I want to fade him here again. I thought about taking a Giants team total again here against Glass now, but Harrison has pitched well against the Dodgers. It's been pretty surprising. So we'll start with I'll just go batter versus pitcher to make this a little easier, I guess. 6 plate appearances for Mookie Betts, 0 for, but he has 2 walks. Freddie Freeman, 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Will Smith, 0 for 3. It's pretty surprising. He has had 2 starts against the Dodgers, 5 innings, no hits, 4 Ks, 2 walks. And then his first start at the Dodgers, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run, 2 Ks, 1 walk. They lost both starts, 2-5 and 2-7. But I think he, I just go back and forth between Logan Webb. I like Logan Webb a lot, but it seems like if you're in his division, you'll get used to all that movement and you can time him up, square him up, etc. Kyle Harrison, like you said, someone on this staff has to pitch good against the Dodgers, or this is all for nothing. And it's not Logan Webb, it seems like. I don't know if it's going to be Kyle Harrison, but I definitely, his past number says he could do it. I just look at that team total now. Why am I looking at team total? The market, you mentioned it here a little bit, Jim. 94% of the bets, 89% of the money on the Dodgers. Again, who's betting the Dodgers at minus 200? I don't know, but that's what the thing says. So we'll just take it and run with it. And this line, kind of dropped for me at least. Bet online opened up at minus 120, dropped to minus 210, and it has come back up to minus 219 again. But I definitely lean towards a team total there for the Giants, thinking that he could get touched up. Glass now 3.5 at plus 115. I have 5 bets already. I just don't think I can move on it, unfortunately. But I'll be watching this game, seeing how Glass now does.
I think that first 3 under 2.5 is in play here. I just need Harrison to get through that 1, 2, 3 off the top.
Yeah.
If he allows 1 run in the first inning, then those guys come up at the bottom of the 3rd, and you lose. I have real interest in this first 3 under 2.5. It's cold. It's not nice weather for hitting. Kyle Harrison. I know that Glasnow can shut down this Giants group in this weather. I'm very, very interested in this first 3 under 2.5 in Giants Dodgers, and that 1, 2, 3. I mean, I'd like to go over the history of baseball and compare it to the Babes 1, 2, 3. Mickey's 1, 2, 3. I'd like to go over it all and with Gehrig and DiMaggio and see if anything can compete with this 1, 2, 3. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of teams have 1 and 2s, and that's what makes them different. Like obviously Ortiz and Manny, A-Rod, Jeter, blah 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 blah. But they have the 3 that really takes it up to another level. And you're right, it definitely can probably stack up with Murderer's Row because Babe Ruth is a murderer as well, by the way. Just not forget that as well.
It's phenomenal. It's just such a phenomenal group. Okay, let's review all action here. LJ from H-Town on Seager over 1.5 bases. Then we have, and in that one, in the Rangers game, BT's on that first 5 under 4.5. We have Viper MB on Baltimore -1, Cubs -1, Phillies -1, and we're not sure if 2 of those games go. We're hoping the Baltimore game goes. Then Rocco Rogers riding Mookie over 1.5 bases. What a monster he is. What a monster. And Rocco Rogers.
Yeah, imagine trading him. Imagine being a team and trading for that guy, trading that guy.
Yeah, that shit's on you, man. Mets money line for Jay Smooth. We don't think that game is that game officially canceled. I don't know if it's officially canceled. Then we have the taint play of the day. It is a Red Sox first 5 -0.5. Shout out to our guy Matty Ice. First 5 -0.5 for the Boston Red Sox. One of one. Benny is hoping that Tigers Mets game goes. He's on the under 7.5 -118. You know that would cash if it went, but now we're gonna have day 3. I've wanted to bet Casey Mize so badly. Now it's gonna be the 3rd day he's expected to go. I don't think I can bet him. I think it's just messing with his head now at this point, but we'll see. Troy Torrance on the Orioles -1. He's got a Cubs Orioles money line parlay. He's on the Diamondbacks money line, and then we have a lot of love for the Pelicanos, which we'll talk about here shortly. Then Doug is on the Mariners first 5 -0.5 and Cardinals first 5 +0.5. Dan Kelly's on Seattle -1. TJ's on the Cubs under, the Phillies under, Boston -1, Boston first 5 -0.5, Texas money line, Miami money line, Minnesota money line. Minnesota Milwaukee under. My bad. Tone Miggins is on Ellie Cruz over 1.5 bases and a homer. Lamont Williams is on Baltimore run line. I get my card started with that first 5 under 4 in Kansas City, Baltimore. Then Angels, Marlins, we stayed off. Jose gets his card started with the Minnesota Twins. I moved on the Rays. We're 14 minutes in. I'm looking forward to see what the hell's going on there. I moved on the first 5 under in the White Sox Braves game, which we don't think will go. Jose's on the White Sox money line. I moved on the Red Sox -1. Then Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Yankees, Arizona. I'm going to probably send in the first 5 under 4 in Cincinnati, Philadelphia, unless the game's already being canceled. I'm sure it's going to be canceled. Guardians, Mariners, we stayed off. I'm going to be on the first 5 over in St. Louis, San Diego. Jose's on the Cards, team total over 3.5 -125. And the Pig Milk play of the day from Billy Friedrichs, Cards first 5 money line +135. Jose's on the Nats, team total over 3.5 -125. I'm going to send in the first 5 under in Detroit, New York Mets with the expectation that doesn't go. The first 5 under, I'm going to do the same in Colorado, Chicago with the expectation that doesn't go. Jose's on the Blue Jays at +127. And I expect to close out my card at 10:10 p.m. with a sweat. That's the first 3 under 2.5. Jose has a lean towards the Giants team total over 3.5, which I guess is waffle number 2 for Jose Bouquett.
Waffle. That is, I guess, yeah, they got waffle number 2. But by the way, I'm on the Yankees as well. Full game money line -111. I don't know if you said that one as well.
I don't know if I did either.
But yeah.
That came popping off at 3:40 p.m. So Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5. And he's on the Yankees money line. What was the juice?
-111. Yeah, they're my most bet team this year. So just got to keep riding with my New York Yankees.
All right, locked and loaded. Let's just go to our live action here right now. We have go over baseball. So 2-0 Angels in the top of the first. That inning's now over. 0-0 in the top of the second for Rangers, Rays. And the Brewers have the bases juiced with 1 out in Brewers, Twinkies. Chris Paddock, Jose.
That's why it's a full game bet. That's why it's a full game bet.
Okay. Jose, great job. You can catch Jose breaking down the card again here tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of double dips tomorrow, a lot of action tomorrow. So join us here for MLB. Jose, absolutely great work. It is time for NBA. Any last words for the Cappers here sporting the show?
I'm going to be extremely pissed off at the end of the show if Chris Paddock cannot pull his shit together. So we'll see how I am by the end of the show. But yes, Kent, I cannot wait. I'm going to bet that hockey or soccer, no, whatever the fuck, golf, going through my sports here. Battiari or whatever his name's, Battia. Yeah, I can't wait. over McNeely. So it's going to be fun, but appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and God bless you, Chris Paddock.
Let's get that cash. I'm setting up my NBA card and notes and action here right now because we have a big, juicy NBA card, and it's time to get that cash. 2 in 1 day yesterday, and just left money on the table. But these are tricky propositions to pull the trigger on, and NBA is it's a hell of a drug. So let's bring in the plug. Please welcome from Las Vegas, California, the freshest capper in the handicapping industry, Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy, the motherfucking bag. The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plug. Yeah, man. Las Vegas, California, Jimmy. Hey,
is that what I said again? Jesus.
You're right. Hey, you're right, goddammit. You ain't even been in the 702 in a minute, and you know this bitch is full of nothing but Californians. Coming here, raising the gas prices, raising the rent. God damn it, even needing a pack of chicken is more because of these motherfucking Californians. But shout out to all the Cali. You know, we got a lot of love for them. But yeah, Las Vegas, California, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I'm lacking sleep. BJ says, we're pulling out of the trash there. BJ says the Warriors got us paid last night. Well, BJ, you got me off of a losing bet, and I thank you for that. Has it ever been trickier than it is right now, Dutch?
Nah, man, it's rough. And I'll be honest with you, I had the worst March I've had in NBA in a long, long time. And not the best performance here. And last night, I mean, I started off the great April winning, winning on the first, and then yesterday I go 1-1, and my 1L was the Mavericks. I was on the Heat and the Mavericks yesterday. Shout out to BJ. Good call for the Warriors. You had the stripes on your side on that one too, my guy. But nah, it is what it is. It's difficult. Tread lightly, but we'll try to make the most out of it. We got a big card. See, I do believe there's a couple games on here where we can make some money, Jim.
I agree. Let's get right to work here. I feel like I'm seeing things okay. I'm just so scared. I'm just so and then the whole scared money don't make money. Look, you try betting the NBA for a season. Like it's just I'm very, very uncomfortable with who's going to be in the lineup. What do we trust? And then the coach's decisions. Darko taking out RJ Barrett and IQ with 3 minutes left in the first quarter, taking them both out. They're our only chance. Right. They're our only chance. And that was my lone loss yesterday was the Raptors first quarter. Of course, they covered first half, lose first quarter, but Heat -3, and then the Timberwolves first half -3.5. I was with you on the Heat, so we cashed there. Nice. Let's get to work here. I'm excited about this NBA card. The baseball can be pretty grueling, especially with these weather issues and all that stuff. So I'm excited about this. So let's get right to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Portland Trailblazers, 19-56, 8-29 on the road. At the Charlotte Hornets, 18-57, 10-27 at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. What we've seen from these Charlotte Hornets is they've slowed the pace way, way down. You never know exactly for these teams that are, trying to get the best draft pick possible. I know they're just all going to be in the lottery, but it's just hard to know who's going to be in the lineup and who is trying, because Darko clearly didn't care about the final score and didn't care about my first quarter action there. We have we have Miller, a game time decision. I mean, how important is it? Bridges, a game time decision. We know that Mičić is out, Richards is out, Williams is out. And then now we're talking about a Portland Blazers team that's got Rupert at the 2. I mean, Rupert at the 2 and Jabari Walker at the 4. I mean, was this the plan? We have Jabari Grant, game time decision, likely not going to play. We know that Shaedon Sharp's out, Simon's out, Thibel's out, Brogdon's out. Those are 4 of your starting lineup, I guess, including a 6th man, I guess. But it's a very, very tricky proposition. Portland playing 7th fastest pace in the NBA over the last 5. They've lost 5 straight. That's 98.9 possessions a game, so it's not like they're playing with any wheels. They come off, this is game 5 of their road trip. They've lost the first 4, and they looked really good against Orlando, losing 104, 103. Did they look really good, or did Orlando look, god awful in that basketball game.
Yeah.
This is a long road trip too. This is game 5. This road trip started on March 25th, and it doesn't end until Friday. It doesn't end until Sunday. Excuse me, sorry, because this is game 5 of the 7 game. It doesn't end Sunday at Boston. So this is just a kind of a beaten down, tired basketball team. The line's moving towards the Portland Trailblazers. This is a +1 right now. It opened at 1.5. It got to 2. There's been a full 1-point move since then. BetOnline opened this at 2.5, so they've had a 1.5 move. We've had a 0.5-point move towards the Portland Trailblazers. I don't want to get too caught up in what we saw last game, as if that's going to continue to happen on this long trip. This total is at 212.5. It opened up at 212. We have a 0.5-point move to the over. When we go to the cash flow in this one, we have 38% of tickets and 58% of cash on the Hornets. So bigger bets coming on the Hornets, but the book's moving in the opposite direction. We have no help at all on this total. So then the question is, what the hell? So if we say that what we're going to get from the Blazers is a complete enigma, what the hell are we going to get from the Hornets? They've lost 3 straight. This is, they had that game against Cleveland at home where they look good. Then they lose by 18 to the Warriors. They lose by 12 to the Clippers. They lose by 14 to the Celtics. So one thing you can say is the Hornets have been facing tougher competition, and this is game 5 of an 8-game homestand, which is a pretty nice place to be. Can you find an angle here, Dutch? Blazers, Hornets.
Yeah, man. Good to see our guy Ray Charles in the building. Haven't seen him in a minute. Good to see you, my man. Mikey Money, long-winded pimp. Good to see you, my man. Jose, man. God damn, how long you gonna keep this motherfucking record up, man? You trying to kill my high the whole entire show? It's been up for a minute. All right. I know it's my first show in the red, or my first season in the red with Jim. All right. I'm not fucking happy about it. But this game, I don't know if it's gonna help us out. It's not gonna help my record out because I don't fucking like this game. And all you're talking about the pregame about this makes me think it's the Hornets, Jim. And the slight look that I did look at this game was, man, this is the Hornets probably here. I mean, you got the Hornets going to Portland February 25th and beating them as a 3.5-point dog. They beat them in Portland 93-80. I mean, this is 1990s basketball, 93-80. I don't think you can say the Hornets held anybody to 80 points this damn year. So long road trip here for the Blazers. They're fucking beat this shit. But do you really want to go to the window with the Charlotte Hornets? I do believe they are the right side on this game, but no action for me here, Jim.
And none for me either. It's not. If the line was moving towards the Hornets, I'd bet them right now because I do like game 5 of an 8-game homestand. I prefer game 6 of an 8-game homestand, and I would like to fade what we saw from the Blazers in Orlando. Saturade took Portland money line last night. The line's moving towards you, Saturade, so you should feel good about that spot. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Lakers 43-33, 16-21 on the road. The Washington Wizards 15-61, 7-31 at home. We're at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Lakers playing fastest in the league. It's been like that for about 3 weeks now. 4-1 over those last 5 games, 103.2 possessions game. Washington 2-3 over the past 5, playing at the third fastest pace, 100.51 possessions game. They've been top 5 in pace all season long. Lakers on the second half of a back-to-back. So the first question is, who sits? We have LeBron and AD game time decisions. I know that they need wins right now. Is this a spot where neither? Let's start there. Is this a spot where neither sit?
I could honestly see that. That's what I was thinking about this game. I could see they need to win basketball games, Jim. That's why I should not have bet the Warriors last night. That was a huge red flag. The Warriors need to win, and obviously they did. But go ahead.
No, these are extremely important points. This has been a long trip for the Lakers. Now they did each sit. LeBron and AD each sat early in this road trip, and it ends here. This is game 6 of the road trip. So it's a pretty easy coaching situation. And when I talk about a coaching situation, I'm not thinking of Darvin Ham. I'm thinking of LeBron telling these guys that we must win here. We must finish strong. If this was any other time in the year, you would think this is a terrible spot for the Lakers. Abel saying of AD and LBJ play, Lakers smack City. So Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total sitting at 234 opened up at that number. So we've had a 1 cent move to the over, almost nothing going on there. When we talk about the spread in this one, we have the Lakers sitting at minus 13. That's where they opened, a 4 cent move towards the Lakers. So, I mean, and Mikey Money saying great over spot. Dougie leaning towards the Wizards in the points. And then when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 64% of the tickets on the under, not moving. We have 78% of the tickets on the Lakers. We have no information. And then we know, what the Lakers did last night. It was a very, very easy, relaxed victory over the Raptors, who, even with IQ and Barrett out there, look horrible. And then the Wizards second half back-to-back after beating the Bucks last night, 117-113, beating them outright to snap their 3-game losing streak. That was their 4th game in a row at home. They're sitting here right now on let me just get this up here. This is game 5 of a 6-game homestand. It's a much better spot for the Wizards than the Lakers. And then you have also, of course, Kuzma right now, game time decision, as they all are. I don't know if we go to we know he didn't play last night. Did he not play because he wants to play here? A lot of questions to be answered. Take it away, Dutch. Lakers, Wizards.
Yeah, man. Real surprising win yesterday by the Bucks, or by the Wizards against the Bucks. I don't like this game too much, Jim. I think you could find probably some prop value here. I do think you might be able to see the Wizards carry the momentum over early. I thought you would probably be on the Wizards here early, just fading, coming from North. The one thing that tells me, though, that I could see LBJ and AD play is neither one of them broke 30 minutes last night. I mean, it was in cruise control in Toronto. So I wouldn't be surprised if they both suit up, to be quite honest with you. If one does sit, I think it would be LeBron, though. I don't think AD's kind of made a point to play this year. Props to him, because goddamn it, we ain't seen that. We ain't seen this many games out of AD since the Pelicanos. So I would lean Washington early, but I'm not going against the Lakers right now. They're playing good ball. Yesterday I said, what the hell are they? Where do they do that at? Where do they lay numbers like that at, against Toronto? And quickly and RJ Barrett coming back in, people kind of lean towards Toronto. Lakers made it look easy, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do it tonight. But I could see the Wizards having a little momentum coming in after staying at house. They've been at the crib. I mean, that was a good game they played against the Bucks yesterday. So, but eventually, I do believe reality will sit in and the Lakers handle business.
I do not want horrible basketball teams after they look great. That's all. That's just the angle that just doesn't appeal to me. So that it's not appealing to me at all, this spot. And we have questions that need to be answered for who's going to be in the lineup. Maybe if LeBron and AD are both in, and Kuzma and Tyus Jones are out, and then the line moves even further in the direction of the Lakers, maybe the Wizards become a tiny bit appealing. But I do not want them after playing great basketball, which is what they did in that 117-113 victory over Milwaukee last night. Let's roll on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up for us, the Detroit Pistons, 13-62, 6-30 on the road at the Atlanta Hawks, 35-40, 20-18 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Both teams playing almost, a very similar pace over the last 5 games. Around just under 97 possessions a game, 15th fastest in the league for Detroit, 17th for Atlanta. Detroit 1-4 over their past 5. Atlanta 4-1 over their last 5. Detroit coming off that home loss to Memphis, 110-108. They stopped that losing streak with that 96-87 win at Washington, and you knew they cared about that game because of Kuzma, running his mouth when the Pistons were in that big losing streak. For the Hawks, they're playing very good basketball. What we saw them do in those 3 games, with 2 of them being against the Celtics, now they were all at home, was extremely impressive. They lose that last home game to the Bucks, but they bounce right back with that 113-101 win at Chicago. Both teams played on Monday night. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Atlanta right now. Sorry, I had it all set up. We have Atlanta right now at 11. They opened up 11.5, a half-point move towards the Pistons. Total-wise, it's opened up at 223. It's now 224.5. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have, why I don't know why it's not right here. Sorry, we have. Show me this. Where the fuck is the? Sorry. Here we go. We have 31% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Hawks, but this half point move towards the Pistons. And it's a 50-50 proposition for the total. 43% of cash, 43% of tickets, 50% of cash on the over. Take it away for us, Dutch, here. Pistons, Hawks, any interest?
God damn, Jim, these first three are pretty ugly. I'm glad it ain't a party because neither one of these three would make it in. God damn. Be hard to pick. This one here, I think it's Atlanta early, man. They got punked after Murray went for 44 on 44, but I like the kid. I like the kid aggressiveness. Maybe not the best efficiency there, but got the job done. Big win the other night, and then they turn around and get smacked. So I would look for Atlanta to get back to what they're doing, and that's handling business first half. I low-key like this starting lineup a little bit with Bogdanovich in there. You got Deontay Hunter back, Capella back in there. Now they're super light on the bench, and Atlanta's probably going to do what Atlanta does. But Detroit is bummy as fuck. So, I mean, if I had to bet this game, it'd be Atlanta first half. But I'm not betting this game, too.
Yeah, I don't find it appealing. There's my guy, Deacon Mike, in the house. Deacon, it is great to see you, dude. You always put a smile on our faces. We miss you, man. BJ saying no value in this game. On to the next. Well, now we got a big game. Also, we have two teams playing their third game in 4 nights. So we're talking about two teams that are probably tired. And let's break this one down. The first thing I want to go to is, who exactly can we trust being in? With Williams and Shea out, this is not the team that we remember. At this point, Shea is ruled out for tonight, so we know that he will not be in the lineup. And then we have Jaylen Brown, a game-time decision for the Boston Celtics, questionable at this point with the sprained left hand. So we know Shea is out, but could Jaylen play here? The Thunder played last night, so they're on the second half of back-to-back, that 109-105 loss at Philadelphia. And the Celtics come home after a long trip. So they come home, they have 1 day off, and they're right back at it. I honestly don't love the spot for the Celtics. I mean, that Pelicans victory was nice, but they just lost twice in a row to Atlanta. I mean, they're just sort of going through the motions a little bit right now, and that's what you get to do when you're 59-16 and comfortably in first in the conference, unlike the Thunder, who are battling right now for position. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Celtics sitting at -9, opened up at -105, now at -103. And then from a total side of things, we have the Celtics at, sorry about that. We have the Celtics at 231.5. This opened up at 230.5, so we've climbed a point. It is pretty heavily juiced to the over. And then when we get to the cash flow, you have 42% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the Oklahoma City Thunder, 62% of tickets on the over, and we don't know cash flow. And Adam Hurley, it was a great call about Taurean Prince, my man. I would love hearing it. So take it away, Dutch. This is an interesting one. A lot of moving parts, Thunder Celtics.
Yeah, man. I would like this game a lot better if Shea was out there. Even the Williams dude, but I think I could make it work with Shea. And I do think there might be value here with OKC. It might be getting a little too high up there. I think our boy Justin, shout out to our boy, saying it's 11 now. I see you can get 10.5s out there still. Mr. Trifecta in the building, obviously thinking Celtics smash here. It's not a great spot for the Celtics. And, the Celtics I was looking at, okay, maybe it is a little bit of revenge mode here with the Celtics against OKC. They have lost 2 straight to them, most recently January 2nd here in 2024, they lost by 4 in OKC as a 4-point favorite. And then, of course, back last January, they lost in OKC where, Boston gave up that infamous 150 points. To OKC, which now isn't as crazy, but at that point it was pretty damn crazy. I think OKC plays these boys pretty well. Boston 1 day home after a super long trip here. It's just tough though. It's tough to bet on OKC when they don't got their guy. And then outside, Chet Holmgren is nice, but the other guy is really gonna have the ball in his hand and make buckets is this William Cat. So I can't put my money on OKC here, but there's no way I'd lay the points here with Boston. It's not a great spot for them. I think they could be sluggish early. Would I be surprised if they do find a way to get it done late and cover this number? Not really, Jim, but I do see some value with OKC here.
I think if it was a very intense basketball game against Sixers last night, that's a problem. Does that mean that OKC is going to be ready to go early? If they are, I'd rather not bet OKC early and find a better line on the Celtics live at this point.
That's a strong point. Yeah.
I mean, the other option is, of course, to take the Thunder first quarter. DC Capper looking at the under 231.5, but I can. Saturday said took a Thunder full game last night, thinking Shea would play, trying to back out of it. Yeah, it is. They're caring more about making sure that Jalen and Shea are good to go come playoff time. Yeah, I get it. The Thunder first quarter would be a look, but I agree with BJ. This line is set up for you to think that the Thunder are a viable option. So Mikey Money says big dogs off of a loss as a dog are 17-0 over to the over if they are favored on average this season, going over by 18 points. Wow, Mikey. Wow. All right, let's move on. Let's try and find something here. Doug's saying there's a 9 on Bovada. There's still 9s out there, but I don't know if you could actually bet them at this point because it's clearly moving. I wonder if it's actually taken off the board. My site's just not showing that. I could find out right now here on 365, though. Let's get right over there. Just quickly see if this is get off the live here and see if we can.
I do think there'll be points in this game, though. I see DC Capper likes the under here, but I thought there'd be points in this game. OKC is going to run it up and down the court no matter what.
And they, even though it was an intense game, they were coached, as always, appropriately minute-wise. I mean, they went deep into their bench, and I don't think anybody played over 32. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Indiana Pacers, 43-33, 20-18 on the road at the Brooklyn Nets, 29-47, 17-20 at home, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. I'm starting to really enjoy capping the Pacers. They're starting to become very telling when they're going to just lay an egg and very telling when they're going to lace them up and play great basketball. We're at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. We have the Nets here. These teams just played in Indiana, and the Pacers just absolutely annihilated Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn's second straight loss. They had strung together some wins, but against bad teams. And then they beat Chicago, which is a decent team. They beat them at home and beat them badly, but that was an ass kicking that they just faced. And 4-0 Angels, said Justin McKelvey. Wow. Nice to not be involved there. So the Pacers got up to that 43-27 first quarter lead. They just dominated the entire game. The Nets showed nothing ever. Is there if you blindly bet the team that got their asses kicked on the spread in the next game, your ROI would be excellent. Doug says he's close to taking the Nets plus 7.5. Let's go through the line history here. And then you have to ask yourself, do the Nets have heart? Do the Nets care? And let's let Dutch, answer that question. This opened up with the Pacers -7. It opened up at 6:54 this morning, and it didn't get. Oh, and it got to 7.5 45 minutes later. So that was the move. And then there hasn't been much since then. From a total perspective here, this one is sitting at 230.5, plus money to the under. Opened up at 230.5, dropped to 230, back at 230.5. So the 6 cents of movement to the over. And then cash-wise here for this one, we have really no help from the Action Network. 45% of the tickets are on Brooklyn. Half-point move towards the Pacers. That's 50-50 ticket-wise on this total. Take it away for us here, Dutch, Pacers, Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. This game right here, I thought you would be on Brooklyn here, but it's tough, man. That their starting lineup's decent, but their bench is absolutely MIA. They have no bench now. You can say what you will about Schroeder. He's very streaky, but you got Mikal Bridges in there. You got Claxton back. Dorian Finney-Smith was pretty nice in Dallas, but he's left his game in Dallas. But overall, I would think the starting five is decent. But against these Pacers, man, March, they just got smacked right by 23. And then March 16th, 2 weeks ago, they got smacked by 21, at home in Indiana as an 8-point favorite. Indiana handled business. Now you got 7 here. You got a team that's going for the 6th, 7th rank. They're in the 6th, I believe, position right now. Only a game up, game and a half back. They need to win basketball games is my point here for Indiana. So I would expect it's tough though. It's tough. It's tough. As Jim said, you always want to bet this other side here, usually with a second back to back like this, and then they travel to the other opponent's arena. But I do think the Pacers are going to be playing basketball, man. If the Pacers are playing Pacers basketball, they should handle business in Brooklyn. Haven't went to the window with it yet here, but I do like Indiana. I think they handle business. The only thing keeping me off, honestly, is the fact that they smacked them last night, obviously.
I don't think Miles Turner plays in this basketball game. I know that. So he hurt his finger on Monday. He went and got examined and came back negative, but he still went and saw a hand specialist. That tells me that something's wrong.
Yeah.
If Miles Turner is announced out, what's this go to 6.5, 6?
Yeah,
or is that not?
Yeah, I mean maybe half a point.
So it goes back to 7. The question that I don't have the answer to is: do the Nets have heart? They're about to be officially eliminated. They have no chance to get into the play-in. Are they going to try here at home against the Pacers? Because the Pacers need to win to stay out of that play-in.
I think they've shown a little bit that they tried so far, Brooklyn. Like since the All-Star break, since they got rid of a couple pieces, mainly they stopped. What a big issue was is they kept trying to get the ball around Ben Simmons. They wanted to run the offense around. The team didn't like that. Team don't like that. Guy isn't showing up to work every day, and he comes in now. You want to make him the focal point. So since they've kind of shut that down, we've seen them play. We've seen them play better basketball a little bit. There was a while there where they were just checked out. You could tell. They checked out on Jacque Vaughn. But now I feel like they do play. You see moments where they could play. I mean, we know Mikal Bridges is a basketball player, so. I wouldn't say they don't give a fuck, Jim. I've seen Brooklyn have some games where they play. Now, eventually, they're just the talent level just doesn't match up.
If we finish this card and I don't have action, I'm gonna bet the Brooklyn Nets at plus 7.5. Expecting Miles Turner to be announced out. Expecting them to show some heart. BJ leaning towards Brooklyn, says Pacers play Thunder on Friday at home. Jill Will in the house. Bo Jackson says, what are the Nets playing for? And they're not playing for anything except they just got embarrassed. So I don't know if I can trust them showing heart here. I'm going to leave asterisks with a couple question marks. I'm interested in the Nets. We move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. We're sitting here now with just 4 games left. We don't need to force action, but we want action. Memphis Grizzlies 25-50, 17-22 on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks, 47-28, 29-8 at home. It's hard to believe that the Grizzlies are 17-22 on the road. You would think that if your team was 17-22 on the road, well, how many games are you over 500 then? At least 7 or 8 games over 500. This game is 25 games under 500. 17-22 on the road. And they just won on the road. They just beat the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday. And the Bucks are on the second half of a back-to-back. They've lost 3 of 4. Their spot atop the conference isn't locked in. We know that the Cavs have this tough Western trip that they're about to go on, but both these teams are just crawling to the finish line. That was a horrifically embarrassing loss at Washington, and now they come back again, not playing good basketball. Let's pull up the line history here for this one. From a total perspective, we're sitting at 220.5 minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 222. This actually just dropped to 219. It just dropped to 219 2 minutes ago. So we've moved down further to the under. Then on the the spread side of things here, we have the Bucks at minus 13.5. They open. Oh, it's back to 13. Excuse me. Sorry. Back to 13. That happened 7 minutes ago. So there's been no movement now after that move back. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have no help on the total. No real help at all from the action. Where 54% of the tickets are on the Milwaukee Bucks. We know that Dame, has not been playing. He's already listed as out. Pat Bev and Chris Middleton are out. Giannis is a game-time decision. I mean, this Milwaukee team is going to come at you with Malik Beasley and Pat Connaughton as your starters on the 1-2. I mean, you're going up against Scottie Pippen and Luke Kennard. I mean, what the hell's going on here? Shit. Memphis playing second fastest pace in the league. Milwaukee fifth fastest pace in the league, but that's not that fast. 101 possessions game for Memphis and 100.32 for Milwaukee. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Grizzlies, Bucks.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Leonard Porch. I see you, my dude. Abel A in the building. Good to see you, my man. Mikey Money, man. Come on, man. He must be bitter over that 20-point L he took against the Pelicanos on Medicaid Monday. Hey, man, coming in hot, motherfucker. But yeah, this another bummy ass game, Jim. You would expect Milwaukee to come out firing. Our boy Justin likes Milwaukee -7.5 first half. I mean, it's a big number, but that's probably where I would look. It is a big number though. Memphis is a try-hard team in the league, but talent level has just finally sunk in. They actually started getting some guys back, and then they got worse. And maybe teams are just starting to catch on to it a little bit that, hey, you can't just overlook this G League basketball team. But Memphis can show up and play. I think Milwaukee is a better defensive basketball team without Dame and Patrick Beverley in the starting lineup. But, I mean, it's unexcusable to lose to the Washington Wizards last night. So you would expect, Glenn to have these boys ready to rock and roll tonight. But I'm not going to lay 7.5 first half with the Bucks, but that's the only way I would look.
And I know you don't like first quarters, but it seems like that would be more appealing because you have, Giannis is probable. They just got embarrassed. They come home. I mean, I've tried so hard in my career to not take first quarters over -2.5. Here we got a -4.5. I mean, I can't do that, can I?
Yeah, it's too big. Yeah, it's too big. But they probably be up by 20.5. They should be. I mean, goddamn, they should be pissed the fuck off. And they're obviously clearly way loaded compared to the Memphis fucking Grizzlies, man.
Chase J says Memphis first half. Cash says, I do not like taking teams coming back to home court for the first time playing a team that's been hanging around the area and somewhat comfortable. Memphis was just in Detroit. Yeah, it's just too many points for the Bucks first. I'm still going to write it down, but with heavy question marks here. I mean, I could have, and I think what can get me to the next level? I could have been on the Raptors race to 20 yesterday and looked like a goddamn genius. Right. Instead, I got them first quarter and with 3 minutes left after they've won the race to 20, Barrett and IQ get taken out. With some of these dogs here that I like first quarter, I don't see why I don't take a flyer on the race to 20 at a huge plus line. I think that would be a nice thing to introduce to my action here as we move forward. And I just kind of wanted to say that out loud so I can recognize and be consciously aware of it. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern with the Toronto Raptors 23-52, 10-26 on the road at the Minnesota Timberwolves 52-23, 27-10 at home. Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the total sitting at 215.5. This opened up at 215.5. It's right back where it started. We have a 2-cent move to the under. When we get to the spread here for this one, oh, sorry, I'm on first quarter. Of course, I'll say. On the full game, we have Minnesota sitting at. Oh, did I just say that? I didn't. 215.5 is the total, and -15.5 is the spread. It's just moved to 16. It moved to 16 this minute at 2 p.m. This just moved a half point further towards the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Raptors are just a horrifically bad basketball team. It's as bad. It's God. You expect to see Damon Stoudemire out there. It's that just horrific. You expect to see them playing in the Sky Dome. It's just Grady Dick and Jordan Nwora starting. RJ Barrett's out. He's not playing in the back-to-back. You almost want Jonte Porter out there betting against himself just to have a little fun. this is just now. IQ is going to be playing. Gary Trent's back in for the Wolves. Conley's out, so you get to see Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Shea's cousin. So we get a little Canadian magic, and Barrett going in Nikhil. They did that so much, when they were younger. But God, I hate watching the Raptors out there. Toronto 0-5, 97.6 possessions game over the last 5. Minnesota 4-1, 95.50 possessions a game. And it was a real tough watch, that Timberwolves game last night. I was very fortunate. I was only on them first half. And I guess I have to thank Peter Loshak for that. That was going to be a first half and full game. I didn't think it was my favorite spot on the board, so why was I doubling up on it? And I was going to get a 7.5. I wasn't going to get a 7. We were waiting for the 7. I imagine I would have taken the 7.5. The 7 would have cost money, and so it's possible I spend more and get a push. But then there's times where the Wolves, it's 101 to 100, and then the Wolves look like they're going to carry away and get the cover, and then the Rockets come back yet again. The Wolves they don't look very good right now. And even though they're winning basketball games, are they covering them? Is the question. So are they going to get us paid? So we have 2 teams on the second half of a back-to-back, and one team is one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen in my life. Mike Money says T-Wolves blow these boys out. I got to watch some of these. Beat this basketball team. How about that? Take it away, Dutch Raptors, Timberwolves.
Like I sleep over at did he?
Yeah, I gotta read it a few times before I decide to read it aloud.
This fucking guy.
He's setting me up. He's loving it too right now. He's sitting back, laughing right now.
Yeah, that is just homosexual, actually, Mike. Yeah, you are. that's just not good. Oh man. This game is horrible. I hate to come up here, Jim, and just keep not really giving y'all anything, but I have nothing on this game. I mean, yesterday I was in the same boat. I really was like, I broke down this game. I was like, Minnesota first half full game. I would have bet both if I was going to bet it. So I would have, honestly just been pissed off at the end, paid a little juice because of that. And I watched that game. Minnesota just looked like they kept putting these boys away. They went on a nice run in the second quarter. I mean, I like what I see out of Naz Reid. Man, yeah, I think Babano's right. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I think that Minnesota's a team that we could look to fade, come playoff time. I'm not too impressed with what I've seen with them, quite honestly. We know Ant-Man's a stud, but maybe starting to lose Anthony Towns is starting to catch up with them. Bringing Naz Reid, obviously it lightens the bench, and I don't know, maybe this team just isn't as good as the numbers say they were throughout the whole first part of the year. But yeah, I'm not laying 16 with them. And Toronto, you said it, man. This is one of the worst teams you've seen. It's pretty bad there in Toronto. We thought it was pretty bad in Memphis. The funny thing is Memphis was trying hard and playing with that roster. And now we see Toronto, what it can really be like when you don't have basketball players, because it's literally like they can't stop nobody. So Minnesota, if they show up, they should pick their number. Team total, maybe. It was kind of sweaty yesterday. But I think, yeah, this is a clear pass for me, bro.
I'd rather have Gary Trent out there than RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bit of a little bit of an addition. I don't know why Darko takes them both out at the same time. I mean, he's not trying. I guess we just got to leave this alone. But I don't know how anybody would want anything to do with the Raptors. And watching Kelly Olynyk out there, who they used to bat. Sun Dizzle and Olynyk used to battle on the courts back in BC when they were younger. Kelly Olynyk just looks so like dumpy. Is that the right word for him? It looks like dumpy and sloppy out there. Like, I'm sure if I went up for a layup, he would miss the block and break my nose. He's so dumpy and just. But I guess it's good to have somebody who wants to play in Canada, regardless of what a fucking dumpster he is. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Orlando Magic 44-31, 17-19 on the road at the New Orleans Pelicans 45-30, 21-16 at home. Now, when we got this show started, there was a lot of love for the Pelicanos, And I copied and pasted a lot of the action here. Stacks play today from Justin McKelvey is the Pelicans -4. There's Troy Torrance. Pelicans first quarter, Pelicans first half, Pelicans full game. Says Magic off 8-game homestand, teetering on loss. Magic at home off of a loss. A little domo on the Pelicans first half as well. So here we go. A lot of love for the Pelicanos. Let's set this one up. This is the second last game today on the show. We're at the Target Center. Oh, sorry, I wrote Target Center down twice. We're obviously in Nolans. Orlando 2-3 over the past 5, 95.5 possessions game. That's 23rd fastest in the league, and Pelicans playing slightly faster. And every time that somebody says the Pelicans are a really good basketball team, the Pelicans could beat anybody in the league, then they lay an egg. And everyone's sitting around trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with them.
Shit with this fucking team, right?
They've lost 3 of 4 games on this homestand right before the NBA playoffs, right when the victories are so important. I mean, you have to ask yourself, now this is game 5 of a 6-game homestand, which is just a perfect place. But what is the problem? And the only thing you can think of is who's the leader on this team, and does he care? And of course, that goes to Zion first before BI, but everybody has a different sort of feel for this. But this is a great spot for them. They're coming off a loss. They're in game 5 of a 6-game homestand. The Magic have won 2 straight at home against the worst teams in the league, and now they travel. Both teams played on Monday. So yes, I can understand why everybody likes the Pelicanos here. Let's see what the market thinks of the situation. We have New Orleans right now at -4 at -109. -4, -109. They opened up -4.5. They got down to -3.5 at 8 in the morning. Who in the world is betting the Magic in this spot? We have 207.5 as the total. This opened up at 209. We have a 1.5 move towards the under. Then when we get to the cash flow here in this one, we have 55% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Pelicans. Well, that's interesting. That 4.5 out of every 10 tickets would come in on the Orlando Magic is very, very interesting. And maybe that explains why this line's not moving to the Pelicans when it's such a clear Pelican spot. 68% of tickets are on the over and it's moving to the under. I tell you what, this is so fucked up, Dutch. How this number comes out, they're putting it. Now we know BI and Grand Theft are out, but they're putting this line at a number where everybody would think you got to bet the Pelicans. This shit scares the shit out of me, and I respect the guys who are just putting their balls on the table and making big moves on the Pelicanos, but this is hard to quantify. Take it away, Dutch. Magic Pelicans.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go with the Pelicanos first half here. I got the Pelicanos first half. I think it's a nice little spot for them. I think at the end of the day, you said a lot, and what I think it is just Zion. You can't rely on Zion, man. And what we're really seeing is how good BI is. Now I think BI is the best player on this court, and I'm not saying he's the best player on the team. I'm not saying he's maybe the leader of the team. And that's probably still something they need to find, because I wouldn't say CJ McCollum's definitely. I wouldn't say he's probably a leader, and I know Zion ain't no motherfucking leader. But I do like that Trey Murphy comes in. Defensively, I think they match up pretty well with this Orlando Magic team. However, the Magic have had their way with them, beat them 4 straight times. Most recently, 15-point win in Orlando, March 21st. So it's kind of revenge mode. I also like the fact that, Phoenix came in there and really smacked these boys. I mean, from start to finish, whoever's on that first half, just had to be sad as fuck at the end at halftime. At the end of one, Devin Booker went in there and dropped 52 on your ass, not once, but 2 times he's done it to these motherfuckers. 52. Herb Jones supposed to be the guy when it comes to defense. Well, Devin Booker says, I don't think so. 104 points in 2 basketball games, ladies and gentlemen. Devin Booker did that to you. So I was expecting him to come in and be a little fucking pissed off. They've been a bet-on team at the crib. And I do think, say what you will about the Pelicanos, they still have won 10 out of the last 15 basketball games. Are they really going to lose to the Magic again? Maybe at the end of the day, the Magic find a way to find it. I think this is going to be a close basketball game. That's why I like the first half a little bit more. I expect them to come out angry. after being down by 20 halftime last game out. And the Magic as a dog, this isn't really where you want to find them. You know, they're 16-25 on the year as a dog. Haven't covered in 5 straight covered 1 out of the last 5 against the number. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicanos do handle business tonight here, Jim, but I'm way more comfortable with this first half because without BI, when it gets down to crunch time, this team doesn't know who to give the basketball to. And if it's going to be Zion, it's easy to guard him at the end of the day because this motherfucker can't shoot. All he's going to do is drive to the hole. So eventually that shit just wears out. He gets tired of getting fouled. He doesn't get calls. He starts complaining. And he's not the best conditioned athlete, even though he has lost some weight. So the longer you go with the Pelicanos, I think the more at risk you are. So I cut it in half. I'm not mad at that first quarter because I do like first quarter here, but I'm not betting it. I bet the first half Pelicanos.
You got it. Pelicans first half -2, -110. From a cap, if we didn't look at the market at all, it would be a slam dunk Pelican spot. But I'm going to let the market take me off of this. And I respect all of you guys who are making your moves. I will cheer you on. Now, if I start seeing people on the Magic based on X's and O's, I maybe can revisit this later. But this is a tricky NBA card. We get into the final spot on the board here. 10 p.m. Eastern. The Cleveland Cavaliers 45-30, 21-16 on the road. The Phoenix Suns 44-31, 23-14 home. We're at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Cavs smacked Utah in the mouth, in the thin air, after getting destroyed by Denver. It's hard to figure out this Cavaliers squad right now. I know that Dan Kelly's putting a lot of the blame, or some of the blame on JB Bickerstaff, but they just don't look right. You have Spider, game time decision. He didn't play last night, left knee injury maintenance. So we expect him to be good to go, right? We expect him. It was a maintenance day, so we expect Spider to be in the lineup here. So the second half of the back-to-back. The Suns had the day off after that win at the Pelicans that came on the heels of that horrific performance at OKC, that came on the heels of that spectacular performance at Denver. I mean, that came on the heels of that horrific performance at San Antonio on the second of those 2 games in San Antonio. I mean, there's no more Jekyll and Hyde basketball team in the NBA than your Phoenix Suns, who are tied right now with Sacramento. They're a game and a half up on the Lakers. I mean, it's really tight in the West right now. So let's take a look at the line history here. Totals at 226.5. Opened at that number, on that number. Both teams are playing at a very slow pace. 94.8 possessions a game for Cleveland, 95.8 possessions a game for Phoenix. Now, I've been in this situation with Cleveland before when they played Charlotte in game 2 of the home. And I'm like, look how slow these two teams are playing. They're playing so slow. And then they went off. Now, they ended up scoring just 33 points in the fourth quarter, and Troy lied bet them at the right spot. I lied bet them at the wrong spot. But here you have these two teams playing so slow. 94.8 possessions a game for Cleveland, 95.8 for Phoenix, and we have a total at 226. It makes me want to bet the under, but I just do not feel comfortable moving on totals. This line is not moved from Phoenix -3, -111, now -110. It's just sitting there, doing nothing. Grayson Allen game time decision, but everybody else good to go here for the Phoenix Suns. So then it comes down to the cash. We get to the cash. You have, I was looking at first half, wasn't I? Shit. Sorry, my bad. That's why I was saying it was a 3. God, of course, that made no sense to me, the 3, and I still said that out loud. It's a 6. So it's a 6. Open up a 5.5. So we have a half-point move towards the Phoenix Suns. I apologize for that line read. And 55% of the tickets and 92% of the cash are on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we've moved a half-point towards the Suns. 62% of the tickets are on the under, and it's not moving. Mikey Money says under. Home favorites with rest advantage since All-Star break are hitting at 55%, but the average line is 202. This game should go low to the flow. Take it away, Dutch. Cavaliers, Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, man, this to me is the best game on the card. I like the Phoenix Suns here, and I like them an awful lot. To me, this team I know, you mentioned, no Shea in OKC. So I kind of seen that coming. The line was super, super fishy too. Kind of just looked like, man, OKC obviously didn't show up. The game against San Antonio, they had just smacked them. We're up double digits again. Second one, stayed around in San Antonio to do it again and kind of just took their foot off the pedal. We've seen them go to Denver and handle business now twice. We know Suns are one of the more talented basketball teams. They just need to be locked in for 48 minutes. Grayson Allen, I believe, is questionable night. I believe he plays. He's big for this team, man. Spreads the court, shooting at an unbelievable rate, not only from the free throw line, but from the 3-point line, but also from the free throw line as well. But what it comes down to is the Suns are just really match up really well against these boys. The Cavaliers, from a defensive perspective, I mean, they don't want to see none of these guys. I mean, March 11th, Phoenix did go into Cleveland as a 7-point favorite. Now there was no Mobley, no Mitchell, but the big three had 88 points combined. Each one of them had 24 plus points. I just think Strus, Garland, Mitchell, any of these guys that you want to put out there, they have absolutely nothing for Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, or KD. Not most do, but especially from a defensive perspective, I don't like what they can do. And even when you bring guys off the bench like Niang and LeVert, these guys they're just not, from a defensive perspective, they're not on the level of the offense that Phoenix has. So I just think Phoenix can kind of get what they want offensively. Nurkic being back, obviously coming off a big 19-19 game. I think for 4 quarters, it's going to wear on them. You got a team. Yeah, it's also a back-to-back situation here for Cleveland, who played in Utah, tough place to play. Now, 2 days before that, they played in Denver, extremely tough place to play. So you're probably coming off playing in the 2 toughest arenas to play in the league. And now you go to Phoenix in a back-to-back situation against the Phoenix Suns team, who's really, really needs to be locked in right now because they got a fucking play-in game, or they're probably going to be in a play-in game with all that talent. So they need to win basketball games just like Golden State needed to last night. I expect them to win this. The number, I'm not really too scared of the number here, Jim, because I do think Cavaliers will be a tired basketball team. Mitchell or without Mitchell, this team does not look right. Going in and out of the lineup, I think, has really affected the chemistry of this basketball team because he's somebody who just demands so much when he's out there, so when he's not out there, other people come in. Then when he's out, other people's roles just completely diminish. It fucks up the rotations of a basketball and the flow of a basketball team. And I think we've seen that with the Cavaliers, even though they do have an awful lot of talent over there. So I think the Phoenix Suns handle business. Minus 5.5 is good money.
I get it. The under is really appealing here with Mikey. I also the Cavs on the second half back to back with Spider coming back in. It just
the Cavs have been a fade on the road. I mean, they haven't covered it. They've covered 2 out of the last 7 on the road, 2-6 against the number last 8 overall. I just think the trends and eye test shows me that Phoenix will smack these boys.
Minus 5.5. We can get you that at minus 110. Available Will Hill. Available at my bookie. So Dutch is on the Suns.
The Suns are definitely overrated. BJ says the Suns are overrated. Yeah, they're definitely overrated, but they still can beat anybody at any time, as we've seen them go to Denver, winning 2 times. And in an overtime win where Denver came back, it really should have won that game, beat almost any other team at any other time, especially in Denver. And Phoenix found a way to win in overtime. That was super impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. Spreadsheet plays of the day are in as well. We will go over all of those. We have the horse race coming up here shortly. No, JPZ, you watch it because I think I may join you guys on the Rangers. I'm going to sit with that here. I think I may join you guys because maybe I was just a little thick-headed in that spot. So let's review all action here in NBA. And it's a lot of tricky spots. We don't get involved until I'm going to get involved with the Brooklyn Nets. And it's a dodgy proposition. But I'm going to expect Miles Turner not to play. So I'll beat the market move. And then if I'm nervous during the game, I imagine I'll be able to find a live way out of it. Dutch gets his card started with the Pelicans first half -2 and the Suns full game -5.5. And interesting. So your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play today. Going heads up with me again today. In my head, Mikey, I'll give you the Kraken on the +1 line, but we went head to head yesterday, and we're going head to head again today. And I'm ready to go to war. Dutch on the Suns -5.5. Pelicans.
That's his play. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties.
Yeah.
Did he win yesterday or did he lose?
Well, he went up against me.
And you won?
Yeah.
Yeah. He should win because that's horrible.
I barely won. 6-2. 6-2 final. I won by four goals.
6-2. Fucking smacked this motherfucker.
It was a tight one.
That was about Monday. Up by 20.5 when he goes up against me. Yeah, fuck the grandma's fucking play. Fucking no panties, you motherfucker.
I love Mikey Money. I love Mikey Money.
Hey, let DJ Big Boss. Hey, that's DJ Big Boss's lane, you motherfucker.
All right. Dutchie on the Suns -5.5. Pelicans first half -2. Ronnie says we had Sabres. You're damn right we did, Ron. -5.5 for the Suns. Pelicans first half -2. I'm going to be on the under in the Cavs Suns game and the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm going to leave that first quarter Bucks off. But I get it. Dutch, excellent work. We got a long season still. We got lots of playoff action. We got lots of action. We both got to get to the black. We're right there. It's not like we're sitting there double digit units down. We're right there. So we'll get it. Thank you for rocking with us, my man. Please support Medicate Mondays on Monday at 11 a.m. We're going to be figuring out exactly when we're doing our basketball live stream. Now we're in talks to figure all that out. But support Medicate Mondays. Support Dutch Boy Fresh. Follow him on X. Dutchie, any last words for the Capper supporting the show?
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jim, as always. All the real ones in the chat. Be sure to show some love. Jimmy here, grinding it out. Whole NHL card, whole MLB card, and a whole bummy-ass NBA card. So show some love. Run up the likes. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. Y'all stay fresh.
There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh. It is time to race horses. Jose. I have 12 minutes. 12 minutes before I got to go do a pickup at school and then come back and lock in my action here. And I'll be fine for MLB.
Like these ponies.
It is time for the ponies. Let's take a quick look what's going on in MLB live right now. Angels up 4-2 on the Marlins. Brewers up 1-0 on the Twinkies. And that under in Tampa, Texas. I think it was set up on a silver platter. It was the Eovaldi thing, and then I knew Savali was going to pitch well, and now just leaving money on the table left, right, and center. Chill Will, thank you for rolling with us, my man. Jose Bouquett, how many horses do we have in today's race?
67.5, really 65.5.
Yeah.
I don't know what to deem our good friend Kelsey at. I don't know what to deem that at. But she is in the race.
Does she have a horse in the race?
Yeah, he is in the horse race. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't need to get into all of that. Remember, in regards to Kelsey, in life, as in capping, you have complete autonomy to do whatever you would like. And if we're going to sit here and think that one of the hottest women in the world with 2.8 million Instagram followers has an unverified Twitter account with 4,000 followers and caps with us for 4 to 6 hours a day, then God bless us. Let's get to racing horses here, Jose. Let's get to racing horses. We're going to race for a minute.
67 of these boys on the track.
And you will be rolling for the first 30 seconds. Your name will get us home. We're racing for a minute here. Thank you to all the gold members. It means a ton to us that you support the channel. So let's go, my man. Let's get that cash. Let's race some horses. And if Kelsey wins, she's $50 richer and will be happy to send it to whatever email that is provided. It's not important. You can be anybody you want. Life is up to you, and that's what makes it so fun and exciting. And you can suspend your disbelief as much as you want if it brings joy to your life. And
I tend to enjoy that.
We are suspending our disbelief right here, Jose. So let's get to work, my friend.
Let's get to work. Thanks, everyone, for watching. A lot of horse noises and animal noises from me this evening, but we are racing. We're racing here in San Antonio, and there's nothing more exciting here than these lovely horse races. Randall Sheffield in the lead right now. Joey Marinaccio poking his nose in front. Donut Silks in the mix here. Craig Wilkinson, a lot of pace on this track. Will we get a wire-to-wire finisher? Let us find out. Jim, take us home. Who is getting $50 richer today?
The Dapper Capper right there. Here comes Big T. Big T making a big move, looking like Big Brown out there. Billy Friedrich on the outside making a move. Just 22 seconds left in this horse race. Jay Peasy trying to come up on the inside. There's the Eldorado Custodian. 17 seconds left in this horse race. Res Mob wanting a piece. There's Mikey Money. There is Mikey. Oh, no, Mikey.
Oh,
no.
There goes Mikey.
No, Mikey, no. Ricky. And the Eldorado Custodian coming in. Here comes Ricky. Here comes Ricky. Oh, Lexicon coming down to the finish point right there.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Lexicon?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lexicon takes it.
Race coming up from the inside. An excellent run by all of you guys. Connor Mack was right there. Coyne was right there. Preston Ekdahl right there. And Nasty Nate again struggling when push comes to shove and he needs his horse to succeed. There, Mikey Money saying he's done with this horse. Just let's see who came last. Here. Wally came in 30th. Bo Jackson 35th. There's Nash Nate 36. That's better. Nash Nate moving in the right direction.
Progress. 42nd for James the Bag there. 53rd for myself. And shout out to our last place finisher, BT.
BT's Money in the Bank. I love that guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
Oldie says never even saw his pony. Let's review all action here on our show. And thank you guys so much for your support. By the way, the spreadsheet plays of the day, Jose, have come in Rangers -1, Cavs +5.5, and the Boston Red Sox from our friend Ron Crawford. Let's review. I've got action on this. Well, I'm already on the Lightning. I love the Lightning, but I'm going to get involved in the total here, and I think it'll just be a Leafs team total under. I expect just a Leafs team total under for me. Or I could just stay off of it now, but I'm going to take a good look at it because they're the favorite. I think I will move on it. 2-0 Brewers, says Justin McKelvey. Then
damn it.
Maybe I was just kind of thick-headed in that I know you guys like it a lot, and I'm going to spend a little more time. Maybe it's time to put our foot down on the throat of the Devils, especially with Rangers coming off a loss. Oilers first period +101, and the Kings -1 for me. Then we have action from our cappers in the chat. LJ from H-Town on Corey Seager over 1.5 bases. Stacks play today on the Pelicanos. Viper on Baltimore -1, Chicago -1, Philadelphia -1. Rocco on Mookie over 1.5 bases. Smooth balls play today on Mets money line. Taint play today. Red Sox first 5 -0.5. 101 Benny on Detroit, New York Mets under 7.5. Troy Torrance on the Oilers -1. Cubs O's money line parlay. Diamondbacks money line and Pelicanos trifecta. Doug on Orlando Magic +4. Seattle Mariners -0.5 first 5. St. Louis Cardinals +0.5 first 5. Dan Kelly on Seattle -1. TJ on the Cubs under. Philadelphia under. Boston -1. Boston first 5 -0.5. Texas money line. Miami money line. Minnesota Milwaukee under. Tone Miggins on Ellie Cruz over 1.5 bases. Lamont Williams on Baltimore run line. And then our action comes in. Is the Royals game going to go?
That's a great question. I haven't heard anything yet. All I know is a delay to 2:05. So
it's past. 2:05 your time. Oh, okay.
No. I saw 2:05 in the chat, so I assumed that was Eastern.
Yeah. Okay. JP says Lightning on the road doesn't give you pause. Not for a second. I watch this team. I'm watching them play. They're, especially with the injuries the Leafs are facing, coming off a loss where they were like very good. They looked very good in that loss. No, it's the best bet on the board to me. Now that's with risk reward involved as well at the plus line. I got +114. So we got to figure out that Twins for Jose, a Rays for me, Jose's on the White Sox plus 320, and I'm on the first 500. But that game's been which games just got?
Yeah, that already got canceled. So we're
canceled.
good.
Okay.
Wow.
That one's done. Red Sox -1. Then Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Yankees, Diamondbacks, and Yankees money line. I got the first 5 under 4, which I will be able to bet if I'm not sure if it. Oh, and Olnick officially out as well. Wow.
I think Sonny probably got to him.
That dumpy broad, Kelly Olnick. Guardians, Mariners, no action. Cards, team total over 3.5 for Jose. I'm going to be on the first 5 over in that one. Nats, team total over 3.5 for Jose. First 5 under in Detroit, New York Mets. For me, I don't think that game goes. And the first 5 under in Rockies, Cubs, and I don't think that game goes.
By the way, apparently the Orioles game is about to start.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's exciting. Blue Jays money line plus 127. Jose's on the Giants, team total over 3.5. I'm going to be on the. I think I plan on being on the first 3 under 2.5 in that Harrison Glasnow, which is not fun, and maybe it'll be the last one with the Dodgers rolling. 1-0 Rangers. 1-0 Rangers. I do not like that at all. Should have been on that first 5 under. I just frustrating. And then we went over NBA a second ago. Dutchie on the Pelicans first half -2 and the Suns -5.5. I'm going to be on the Cleveland Phoenix under, and I'm going to be on the Nets plus 7.5.
And by the way, I'm not on Giants team total over. I just lean that way.
Oh, and I have lean in big letters there. My bad for reading that. Oh, and look at that. Seager.
Fucking A, man. God, I want to bet player props so bad, and when I see shit like that, but yeah, shout out to you guys.
That is our show for today. Thank you, guys. We're back in business again tomorrow, and we have a pretty nice cards with the college basketball scene slowing down. We have the finals in the NIT, but the focus is on NHL, MLB. We're gonna have a ton of double headers. We're gonna have afternoon action, and of course, Mikey Money in the house. Last call at 6 p.m. Eastern. So check out Mikey Money and our show that pops off at 6 p.m. Eastern. Dougie catching Seager. A lot of you guys catching Seager. I'd love to see it. Jose Bouquett, my friend, can you please, and congratulations to Lexicon, $50, Richard. Just email Pub Sports Radio. And Billy Friedrich says, wow, I just watched replay of horse race. Thought I had it for a split second. Then I didn't. It was very close, Billy. Very, very close. And we love you, Billy. Pig milk play of the day as well. We talked about that. Where is that? Pig
Saturated milk? Asking if anyone bets on dongs. So I'm not interested in that saturated, but
no, I never want to see that sentence again.
That's what he said. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
He's talking about home runs.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Are we sure? Are we sure?
I'm positive.
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm 100%
sure.
Jose, please bless our action. And let's
go money. Pick up our kids.
Thank you to all you guys. Dustin and Jamie H, Christopher Comentini, the Dapper Capper, Saturated, Nasty Nate, Mikey Money, Perky Bumps, all you guys, Billy Friedrich, Lil Domo, Gary Tenebra, Justin McKelvey, Jay Peasy, all you guys, Oldie, Vipe, Ricky Bobby, all you guys. We have nothing without you guys. King Al, thank you for your support. Ray Charles, Chill Will, thank you guys for your support. BJ, Ron Crawford, all you guys, thank you. Now let's go get this money. We put enough work in. We can always work harder. Now let's get this money.
Yeah, let's get this money and do indeed. Shout out to you guys. Let's fucking cash. Shout out to my guy Jay Peasy. Let's go. Cardinals, we need it today. But let's go pick up our kids from the school and the airport and all that shit.
Get
so
this money.
Leche, Halos Bookmakers.